This is your daily deep dive into the teams we love and the games we watch.
Touchdown, Wisconsin!
And there it is! The Brewers will punch a ticket to the postseason.
Now here's Doug Russell.
It is difficult to polish that turd. So we're not going to try.
Nope.
We're just going to embrace the suck. Brought back the old golden hits of the past.
Yeah, that one stung a little bit.
Went into the Wayback Machine a little bit. Went back to 2003 in the old 4th and 26. Went back to January of 2015, the 2014, if you will, NFC Championship game. Didn't think you were going to hear the Brandon Bostic highlight today, did ya?
Is that a highlight?
Well, I mean, it's
a low light.
It's, yeah, if more accurately. There's no way to polish the fact that the Packers gave up 25 points in the fourth quarter. There's no way to look at this game as anything other than one of the most epic collapses in Packers history. And there have been some collapses, as you just heard. The name Caleb Williams will go down in history in Packers lore alongside that of Russell Wilson and Brandon Bostic and everything else that went.
Colin Kaepernick
went wrong for the Packers. I mean, this is one of those shows that they say, air quotes, they say, oh, it's an easy show for you to do. Just open up the phone lines, open up the talk and text line and let them run. Yeah. I mean, there's still a lot of anger. There's still a lot of disgust. But the fact of the matter remains, it's not like, sometimes I like to joke. Well, bulldoze Lambeau Field and fire everyone because that's the only reasonable solution. It looks like they're trying and going to try to bring back Matt LaFleur.
Why?
Which I'm a little bit surprised by. I think that there are a number of reasons, but I don't know that any of them are good enough.
How does a collapse like that not cost you your job? If you're Matt LaFleur,
it's not
21-3.
It's not one game. I mean, that's the thing, Dave. To me, it's not one game. I would never can a coach. I would never fire a coach based on one game. I don't care how big the game is. You have to look at the overall body of work. And the overall body of work in the regular season has been very good. This year, though, this is a team that has routinely folded up like a cheap suit, whether it was against Cleveland, whether it was against Denver, whether it was against Chicago the last time they played, whether it was in the playoff game, whether it was in past playoff games. Now, Brandon Bostic in 4th and 26 obviously did not happen under Matt LaFleur. 4th and 26 was under Mike Sherman, and 2014 was under Mike McCarthy. Matt LaFleur had nothing to do with that stuff, but he was around in 2020. He was around in 2021. Those were winnable playoff games that the Packers lost, and that's what sticks in everyone's craw. Winnable games. I don't listen when Raheem Mostert ran up and down the field against the Packers in San Francisco. What are you going to do? You got beat by a better team. You got beat by a really hot player at the time. I'm not even mad about that. You get your ass kicked. I'm not even mad about it. I'm a little embarrassed by it, I suppose. But, I mean, not necessarily winnable games. When they got run out by the Eagles last year, when Philadelphia was en route to their second Super Bowl championship. I'm not, you're a little disappointed by it. Not mad about it, though. The Packers had this game in hand. They had this game in hand, and they pissed it away.
Yeah, and it's not the only time this season that they've done it. And just looking back through history, since the 1970 merger, okay, we're going back to 1970, when up by 10 or more points in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go, the Packers were 306-1. One loss since 1970 heading into the season. This year, Packers were 6-3.
Yeah.
Went up by 10 with 5 minutes to go. 6-3. You lost 3 times. They're the first team in history, the first team since the merger to lose 3 times in one season and went up by 10 or more with 5 minutes to go. We thought the Giants' collapses this year when they were up big was bad. The Giants were a bad team. They're ending up with a top 5 pick. The Packers were in the playoffs and they still had these collapses. I mean, that is incredible. And guess what? Those Giants collapses, it cost Brian Daboll his job. I don't understand how this one compiled on top of everything else that they've had with those collapses the past several years. I don't understand how this one cannot cost Matt LaFleur his job.
Well, this is the same exact boat that Ravens fans have been in for a series of years, and John Harbaugh has now lost his job. They have blown more leads than anyone since he had become their head coach in dramatic fashion. And this is not necessarily uncommon for successful head coaches. As I've already highlighted, John Harbaugh was a hell of a coach and continues to be, but some guys just have a knack for pissing down their own leg and blowing these games. And I think it doesn't take much of a genius to look at how the Packers operate when they take big leads. They turn very conservative. They take their foot off the gas. And then against the Bears on Saturday, that's exactly what happened. They stopped operating under center. They were primarily under center in the first half. They then took primarily shotgun snaps in the second half. Like they switched what they were doing after having performed really well in the first half. And not to mention, and we will ad nauseum, I'm sure for decades to come, Brandon McManus missed 3 kicks, not even 2, 3. I mean, the 55-yarder before the half, I think nobody blamed him for missing. Should he have made it? Kickers are making themselves
I would say, could he have made it? Could he have made it? Sure.
But he made it the first time when they iced him.
And kickers are, at this point, as good as they've ever been, right? So 55 yards, it used to be a stretch. Now it's like, okay, you should knock that through with ease. And he misses it. It's tough weather. Who cares? But then you miss the extra point in the field goal in the second half, and those are killers. You lose by 4, you have 4 free points right there. You could have been playing for the win. You should have been playing for the tie at minimum on that last possession had he made the extra point. And they blew it. It was a team effort. In game,
what would you say, aside from play calling, and not every head coach is his own offensive play caller? Okay. Matt LaFleur, as many coaches are, some aren't. Aside from that, and just go around the room. Aside from calling the actual offensive plays, what would you say during the game is the most important job of a football head coach?
Clock management.
Dave says clock management. Nick?
Yeah. I would say keeping your team engaged.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with Dave on this one. It's clock management, I think, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Please explain to me the timeouts that Matt LaFleur burned with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left and then 44 seconds left. What?
Yeah. And having a delay of game coming out of a timeout.
The delay of game coming out of the timeout is inexcusable. The clock management and the use of timeouts probably aged every Packers fan who was wondering exactly the same thing I was. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Why are you calling timeout here? You need that last timeout with 44 seconds left. You needed that timeout if you were going to try to make one last effort. And it was just unnecessary. It's just so unnecessary. And then the 5-yard penalty coming out of the time. What are you guys doing?
What are we doing?
That stuff happens in the preseason. That stuff happens at lower levels. That stuff happens with rookie head coaches. That stuff happens with rookie quarterbacks. Packers they don't have a rookie quarterback. They don't have a rookie head coach. This was not the preseason. This is the playoffs. All of this stuff, that's the stuff that drives me crazy. Sometimes other teams are going to make plays. Sometimes you're going to make physical mistakes. It's the dead ball mental mistakes that you just can't have in clutch situations. And that's what happened.
Yeah, especially when you're several years in to this with Matt LaFleur. You're several years in with Jordan Love. This championship window that they have put open here, several years into it, and you're still having those kinds of mistakes. It's completely inexcusable. And as Matt LaFleur would say in every single one of his press conferences, Yeah, it starts with me.
Yeah, I got to coach better. We got to play better. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to hear a lot of that coming up next because we're going to do something a little bit unusual. We don't normally play long taped news conference. We don't normally do that. These are not normal situations. I want you to hear everything that Matt LaFleur had to say yesterday, the day after having looked at the tape. It is a long news conference. We don't normally do this. I'm warning you ahead of time. This is what we're doing right here. I want you to hear all of this because I think it's important in context. Matt LaFleur's Sunday news conference yesterday that you probably haven't heard in its entirety is coming up next. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. on the game.
Till the end of time. So you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. Green Bay loses a tough one to Chicago, and their season comes to an end.
Second half, you just look back on it, and we just couldn't get anything going. Came out, a couple 3-and-outs to start, and it was really disappointing. I think after the first half we played, being able to drive the ball down and score seemed like every time. Just got to go back and look at it, but yeah, it's just lack of execution and find ways to make plays that really just hurt us.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are analyzing every angle of the playoff exit all day here on The Game.
Here is Packers wide receiver Christian Watson meeting with the media on Saturday night after Green Bay fell to Chicago in the playoffs.
Honestly, it's not how I expected that one would go. So just frustration and disappointment.
What do you think happened offensively in that second half? You guys, you're so hot in the first half. You guys just stalled.
We just I don't know what it was. I think I have to look back at the tape to really dive deep into it. But at the end of the day, I think it just came down to we weren't executing anymore. We had plenty of chances. I think that they were giving us good looks for stuff that we had. We got to find a way to close out games and to play in full 4 quarters. And we just didn't.
How do you describe your emotions right now? All the emotions of everyone in this locker room.
I was frustrated and disappointed. I think that we had everything that we needed. Regardless of injuries, regardless of the way things have gone throughout the rest of the season, I think that we were still in a spot to accomplish everything that we wanted to accomplish. We just gotta be a better, consistent football team over the course of 4 quarters.
Do you feel like that was just an issue for much of the season too? And why do you just think you guys could never put that full kind of effort together? I know there were times, but it just felt like that was what was holding you guys back from a lot of wins too.
I personally, I do think that it kind of dragged on into the season a little too much. But honestly, I think that the way that we prepared and the way that we went about things, I wouldn't have thought that would have been the case. So, I'm not an expert in that area or anything to really dive into what exactly is going on. But we just got to find a way to do it in the game. We got to carry it over from practice. We got to carry that mentality and that just that execution over into the games because it just didn't show up when we needed it.
What was kind of the conversation like going into that final drive where you got to go down and score a touchdown?
It wasn't much to be said. We got to score. Obviously just getting the rundown situation. We need to score a touchdown. We knew that we were able to score touchdowns on them. We scored a decent amount of points, but you just got to be able to do it when it matters. And that was a conversation. Obviously, I didn't get it done.
How tough is it to see your teammates and just going through the emotions of this? You guys have dealt with heartbreaking games, but nothing like this before.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's tough. Keep chopping. I mean, all the work that we put into this. I mean, we put everything on the line for this. Obviously, we want to get the best result possible. So, obviously, when you don't, it's a tough situation for sure. So, I mean, it sucks, seeing my brothers like this. But I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's hard to look at the bright side after that. But I just gotta let it sink in for a little while and find a way to be better because of it.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Taylor Swift to ask how she sees pop music today.
I think pop is one of the most interesting landscapes to be in right now because you will hear so much diversity just turning on the radio. You'll hear, sort of a dancey, like clubby EDM song followed by a song that's really hip hop based. And then you'll hear like a straight up pop song. Then you'll hear 60s throwback sounds. I think it's really just so intriguing that so many different sounds are allowed to exist in the same format. And it's really cool to be a part of it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists.
How hot is the seat? I don't know. We will discuss. We got a 4-hour show today, and the talking text line is heating up. But Matt LaFleur met the media yesterday. He will not meet the media today. What's going on right now in Green Bay is locker cleanout day, so we'll have some comments tomorrow on the show. But did want to bring you Matt LaFleur's news conference from yesterday because we weren't here on Sunday. I don't know how many live radio shows there were on Sunday as all of Wisconsin was kind of wallowing in the din of what happened on Saturday night. So in its close to entirety, here is Matt LaFleur's day after news conference and season ending news conference with reporters yesterday at Lambeau Field.
You expect to be back as head coach next year?
That's not the focus right now, to be honest with you. We're fresh off this loss, and just trying to find ways to get better.
Have you met with Ed since the game?
We talked briefly on the plane, and there's going to be a time when we're going to get together either later tonight or tomorrow sometime.
How hard is it to not be your focus? I mean, I think we've all had job uncertainty in our lives, and it's hard not to kind of be. I mean, we all know what type of business this is, and the focus is, for me was, at least today, to take a look at the tape and try to figure out why and what went wrong. So that's where all my focus has lied. And then as in that process, you start thinking about, all right, what are the things that we need to do to get better? So that's just where I've put all my mental energy.
I think we asked this last night, but in your mind, why do you think you're the guy to get this team over the top, whatever that looks like?
I don't think those are questions for me. Like I said, I think my sole focus is just trying to find solutions to some of our issues and why things went awry yesterday. And, it's disappointing. I'm as disappointed, obviously, as all you guys, as our fans, as everybody in our organization, because we had plenty of opportunities to slam the door shut and we didn't get it done.
Just to be clear, though, yes or no, do you want to still be the coach here for next year and going forward?
Of course. I mean, this is one of one. I love this place. I love the people. As much as you guys drive me nuts sometimes, I love you guys. I love our players, the locker room, everybody in our organization. I mean, this is a unique place. The community has been outstanding. I grew up in the Midwest, and it's got the same type of vibe that I grew up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. So, people are unless you're, I think, from here, you don't understand how friendly everybody is. And it's nice to, no matter who you are, you're walking down the street and people say hello to one another. And I've lived other places. So I think this is a unique place and it's a special place. My kids love it here. My family loves it here.
You talked about finding solutions over years now. There's been a handful of really close playoff losses. You haven't been able to get those games to swing your way. What do you need to change as head coach to make sure that happens?
Yeah, I think you're always trying to evaluate and making sure that you're putting your players in position to make plays, and ultimately it's going to come down to that. And these games are tight, the margins are small, and when you have those opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. And unfortunately for us, you know, you always look and see when it gets tight. If a guy makes a mistake, why are we making a mistake? And so those are constantly at the forefront of our mind.
Is there anything from a culture or team identity standpoint that you think?
No, I don't think so. Because when I take a look at the tape and I think objectively, and you just watch it, and like I look at our play style and the effort and strain, and our guys are battling. It's not for lack of effort. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of their effort. I thought they battled their tails off, and unfortunately, we just came up short.
You started using that word strain, I think, during this season, because I picked up on it that your coaches were saying it, your players were saying it in the locker room. What brought that out? What were you looking for when you talked to them about preparation, getting ready, and that word?
Yeah, I think that's a key component to any good team. Is you better see that maximum effort, the level of strain that you have to go to the echo of the whistle. I think that's a characteristic of successful football teams in this league that kind of supersedes any scheme.
You talked about last night about the lack of composure sometimes in big moments this season. Why do you think that kept cropping up, and why weren't y'all able to kind of correct that over the course of the season, some of those learned leads?
Yeah, I think it was more lack of execution than lack of composure. Just looking at the tape, and this is why you got to be careful what you say, I think, especially emotionally after a game. But when I look at it, it's just, don't get me wrong. It's execution, whether it's from the guys on the field or it's from a coaching decision in terms of, well, there were some play calls that you'd absolutely love to have back. Just like there's some plays that some of our guys would absolutely love to have back. And that's football. And like I said, in the biggest of stages, you got to capitalize when you have those opportunities.
When it comes to execution, though, there's other factors that go into whether you execute or not, right? And talking with Evan Williams last night, he said that sometimes you guys really do show an immaturity, whether it's when things are going well and handling good, or when you're facing adversity and overcoming it. How do you get guys who are young but not inexperienced anymore to be a little bit better at both ends of those spectrums?
Yeah, I think that's something that we harp on all the time, and it's that next play mentality. You can't live with what has happened, and what has happened doesn't have any bearing on what's going to happen next. So you've got to learn how to handle success and failure in the same vein and just move on to the next play.
And so things went so well for you in the first half offensively.
Sure.
What changed? And in retrospect, what would you have done differently to stop that momentum?
Yeah, I think a good play is the first play of the second half. We got Luke Musgrave. It's going to be a huge explosive gain, and we don't fan out to the corner, blitzing off the edge. There was multiple protection busts, and give them credit. They amped up their level of pressure, and we didn't adjust to it. I think it speaks to the importance too of having home playoff games. When you go on the road, sometimes communication can be a problem. And we were in situations where we're in a 5-0, and so that means every O lineman has a man in front of them, and we cut a guy loose, and he's a free runner to the quarterback. So that happened at least 4 times in that last game.
Every NFL season is its own beast, and it has its ups and its downs. Is this perhaps the most maddening from the way it started to the injuries you suffered to not finishing at Chicago twice?
Yeah, I would say every season's maddening when you end the way we have this, especially this season. Adversity is part of this game, and bottom line is you got to find a way to overcome. And if you don't, then you got to answer a lot of questions for it. So that's where we just got to continue to try to flip the script and move on to the next and find solutions, and need everybody to have that same mindset in terms of what do I need to do to get a little bit better. And the focus has to be daily. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're never staying the same. So how do I work for that daily improvement from this moment until next season?
When Chicago started bringing the pressure in the second half, what is the adjustment that you should have made with your protections that wasn't made?
Well, all we have to do is block it the right way, and those aren't issues. Now, they do a nice job in some of the stunts that they did, where it's a challenge sometimes passing those off, but multiple times when you have free runners, that's not good for anybody.
So do you feel like the plan was in place, it just was not executed the way the plan should have done?
I don't ever want to put that all on our players. There was certainly some calls that you'd love to have back, but I also thought we had a lot of opportunities there too. And I mean, we got to get all 11 on the same page. That's ultimately my responsibility. And when they're not, it looks bad.
Last night, I think you were talking about a defensive substitution or personnel change, and you had to take a timeout, and you talked about communication. Has that got to do with a coordinator talking to guys on the sidelines?
Well, yeah, all of the above. I think, the one that we had on, Chicago subbed, and so, the officials will hold it. We subbed we'd sent 2 D linemen in and 3 came out. So now you're left with 10. So that's just, it's not acceptable, especially in the magnitude of that game, in any game, let alone a playoff game. But I mean, this isn't week 1. This is the playoffs. So you got to be at your best. Like I said, the margins are so slim, and you make mistakes like that. To have a timeout at the end of the game was critical, and we didn't have one.
The loss of Edgerton in the third quarter affect the defensive game plan?
Well, you just taken a really elite player off the field. I did think that our guys that went in did a decent job, but I think Coop's a pretty special player.
You guys didn't. You didn't win after you lost Micah. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. But was there an emotional response to that maybe you just didn't handle right?
No, I don't necessarily agree with that. It is the facts, but as far as emotions, a part of this game, we talked about it all week. Execution over emotion. And you got to be able to handle that stuff. Adversity is a part of life. It's a part of our game. And you got to be able to, focus on the task at hand and try to rally the troops and put together just a better performance.
With that said, I know your job is to win with who you've got no matter what. But when you don't have Mike, you don't have Tucker, you don't have Elton, you don't have Devontae. At some point, did it become a critical mass this season where it changed the formula? You could not get to where you wanted to go.
Well, I don't think it made it easier, if that's what you're asking. But I think, it's just, we're not going to live in that world, because all they are is excuses. So we're going to take the guys that we have. We're going to put them in the best position possible. And unfortunately, we didn't do a good enough job of that.
What happened with Zach Tom? And is he going to have to get surgery this offseason?
I think everything's on the table right now. We're still kind of working through that, obviously hoping to not go that route. But, he went through the week, and just we didn't feel like he could go out there and compete to the level that he needed to and protect himself.
And you had to play with Kennard. Why didn't you have a play for Malik Willis or try to get him involved in the game as just a way to shock their defense?
Sure. That's something that we definitely talked about, but, Malik was battling a hamstring. So it's just, we felt like good enough to put him in to play quarterback. But as far as all the running stuff, if he was in the game, we couldn't have done it anyways, because it would have put him at risk. So Kennard, we've been using for a few weeks at tight end. And so that was actually a can play where we noticed every time we put them in, they were playing man coverage. So we went to the man beater, we busted the protection, and Jordan had no other choice. He wasn't one of the options, I promise you. And as evidenced by the end result of that play, like, yeah, he got it. And that's happened in a walkthrough, those guys messing around a little bit. But when it did come up, it's like, hey, make sure you protect that football. And certainly we did not do a great job of that.
Why weren't y'all able to run the ball as effectively this season as y'all did a year ago?
Well, I think that's part of our process right now is, you're going to load up all the cut-ups. You're going to take a hard look at it and try to figure out the answers to that. Was it a scheme-related issue? Is it a personnel-related issue? I would say it's all of the above. We all got to be better.
Matt, when you look at the 4th and 8 that Caleb completed, Isaiah gets the pressure, gets the hit. It looked like Keyshawn may have peeled off to try to help out Way on the running back. Did you see that looking at the film? And
it looked like he tried to undercut. And, I mean, very few quarterbacks in the world can make that throw. And he made it, and that obviously saved the game for him.
Matt, you ran the ball really well in the first half. Did they do something in the second half that made that a lot tougher?
Yeah, so when we were getting under center, if you notice, they started bringing double-edge pressure. They brought double corner cats. They brought the nickel in a corner. And so that just condenses your edges. So that's part of the reason why, you try to alleviate that issue, and you get either in the pistol or the gun so that doesn't happen, and now you try to run the ball. It was a good plan by them. There are things to take advantage of that, and we had them dialed up. It's just we didn't have them dialed up at the right time.
Matt, what went into turning to Josh Jacobs in the return game?
Again, trying to put your best players in a position to go out there and impact the game. He came up to me, I want to say it was on Thursday. He's like, "You're not going to let me return?" Because that was when Rich brought that to me. I was like, man, I don't feel good about that. But when he said that to me, I'm like, do you really want to return? He's like, heck yeah, I do. So it was one of those deals that we were going to save, till later in the game, crunch time when we needed it. And he had a heck of a return. We just got to make sure we finish with the football right there in that situation. But he was a dynamic returner in college. That play in particular is become somewhat of a running play, just how that's blocked up. And why not have your best runner with the ball in his hands? And that's why we went the way we did. And just the kind of the mentality going into that game or any type of playoff type game is it's all hands on deck. I mean, Coop's running down there on kickoff, and I know he's done that in the past, but it's just you're trying to put your best out there.
Do you have what you need personnel-wise? And I guess speaking specifically about, D tackle, O-line, corner.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of great options. I really do. I believe in the talent in that locker room. I think Goody and his staff do an outstanding job. And ultimately, like I said, we got to try to put our guys in a better position to go out there and have success.
Matt Welch, how do you feel about Brandon McManus has been really consistent. There were some block kicks early in the season, but he had the one miss all year and then one in the playoffs last year, and he had the 3 last night as well when he really needed it.
Yeah, it was a tough night. There's no working around that, and he knows it. And I know what he said to you guys. Yeah, it was a tough deal.
Matt, will Rich be back as special teams coordinator next season?
That's all the stuff that we're kind of focused on right now. Is just going through everything, having the conversations with all our coaches, and then we'll determine all that.
How do you fix special teams? It's been a years-on problem for you, and obviously last night was an example of that, but you've been in multiple games this season that special teams cost you a win. How do you fix that ultimately?
Well, it depends on what aspect of teams are you talking about. I mean, the coverage units, I think we did give up a big return in the game. We didn't win on the outside of Flyers, got pinned inside, and you saw the result, and the result was the return to like the 35-yard line. So those are the things that, from a protection standpoint and a coverage standpoint, that I absolutely think that they've got to be on point. And I thought for the most part this season, we've done a pretty solid job in that regard. But as far as like, you know, we got to make our kicks when we have opportunities to make our kicks.
You mentioned you want to stay here with the Packers. There's obviously 8 other coaching jobs available. Would you be willing to coach out the remainder of your contract without an extension?
Again, that's not my focus right now. You know, those conversations will be had in a very short period of time.
Hey, Matt, in the last 7 years, I think I've heard you say it starts with me several hundred times. I know you mean that when you say it, but whatever it's going to be, whether you're coaching here or somewhere else, big picture, what things do you kind of think you want to do differently or better to when it starts with you? What do you want to do differently?
I think we have to look at everything from how we train to how we practice. And these are conversations that I've already had with some of our people, and just trying to find maybe different ways to do things. But those are all the conversations that are ongoing right now. Just taking all the data that we have, comparing it to, you know, other teams or whatever it may be. Certainly this year we had the injury bug a little bit. It's like, all right, can we do something different to avoid that? Now, a lot of those were just I don't know. I think unavoidable, like when a guy gets his ankle landed on and breaks his fibula or whatever, or a guy gets cut and kicks Tucker Kraft in the knee. Like, I don't know if those are necessarily avoidable. But from a training standpoint, just making sure that we're trying to build up our people, our players, so that they can go out there and they can compete at a high level for a long period of time.
I was actually wondering what you thought of the injury situation, those terms, because Mike was non-contact, but other than that, was there a serious injury that wasn't contact? Like, it just seemed like an incredible amount of bad luck. Is there anything that you can do about that, or is that literally?
Yeah, I think that's what we're searching for, to see if there is something that we can do more so that we can try to avoid that. Because, I mean, let's face it, you to be at your best, you need everybody available. And we always talk about your best ability is your availability. And it's tough when you lose some guys.
Hafley has at least five interviews scheduled.
Sure.
Can you replace him from within, or would you, if you lose him, or would you have to go outside?
I think all options are on the table. I think that's something that we'll be working through. I fully anticipate, I think Hafley's going to do a great job on the interview, and I fully anticipate him getting one of these, and I would be so happy for him because he deserves it. And he's a great friend. He's a great man. He's a great coach. I'd hate to see him leave for us, but at the same time, that's what this business is all about. And he's earned those ops. So I'm excited for him in that regard. But we'll make sure we have a good plan in place.
It's been here your whole tenure. What would you say your relationship with him is, and how so, if any, has it changed since he took over as the Packers president?
It feels like since the day I got here, and he's been great. He's been super supportive. Yeah, and I can't say enough great things about him.
Every season's all in, obviously, but it seems like just every lever has been pulled, from Rudy saying we need to compete for championships and trading for Micah Parsons, churning the roster with 23 moves heading into week 18. When you go through what you've gone through and put your heart and your soul into it once again, and then this is the end result, what's it feel like to be in your shoes today?
Yeah, it's a kick in the gut, just like it is for every Packer fan out there. But you got to dust yourself off. You got to and get to work. Roll up your sleeves and get to work. And that started this morning. You come in, and as painful as it was to watch that tape, you watch the tape and you figure out why things went the way they did. And it's unfortunate. And then you start having conversations after that. And just try to find solutions moving forward.
Whether it was the flight home last night or this morning watching film or whatever, just how hard is it to swallow what happened? I mean, if 15 plays go a different direction, you might be playing at Seattle next week.
Yeah, that's football, and unfortunately, we got to find a way to not be in this situation. Bottom line.
I talked to a dozen guys last night in the locker room. You could tell how tired they were and emotional they were when they opened the doors. And when you said what happened from the first half to the end of this game, and when they looked for words, most of them all said the word, we couldn't finish. We didn't finish. What does that mean to an athlete? What do you take that as a coach moving forward?
Yeah, I think that was a big theme going into this game, is knowing your opponent and knowing what they were capable of doing and knowing how they'd come back. I want to say, was that their fourth quarter comeback or whatever? So that was the main message, is to finish. It was talked about ad nauseum, and we didn't finish. So I think we all kind of look ourselves in the mirror and say, what can I do a little bit better?
If Ed said, we want you back as head coach, but we're not going to do anything about the contract till next year, is that feasible? I mean, for you, would you accept that? Is that a bad situation if you are in a lame duck situation?
Yeah, I'm not. Those are for another time, I think. I'm so focused on our players, our staff, and just trying to, like I said before a million times, try to find solutions on how to get better.
Matt, did you see the Bears locker room video after last night?
I did not.
Matt, there's a bunch of us in here that were, sorry, I didn't think that was going to count because you just said you didn't see it.
Of course you did, Jason.
There were a bunch of us here that were here for 4th and 26, that were here for the 2014 NFC Championship game. You were on Dan Quinn's staff for that Super Bowl. Assuming we continue the way things are, how do you make sure that a gut-wrenching loss like this serves as we got to get our act together and we're going to overcome this and not a spiral that things just keep
going? I think you got to use it as fuel. I mean, there's no other way to, first of all, you got to acknowledge it and accept it for what it is, and then try to find ways to learn from it. But I think ultimately you got to use it for fuel. I mean, this one stings, and it should sting, and it should sting for a long time. And I mean, when these guys are training away from the facility and there's a moment where, oh man, I don't feel like doing this today. It's like, hey, think about how you felt in that locker room. Maybe that can get you motivated to get up off your butt and do what you need to do to get a little bit better. And that's going to be the message to our guys, is you have to use it as fuel.
That's Packers coach Matt LaFleur in its entirety. His Sunday, day after season ending news conference. Will react on the other side. Get your reaction as well. It's D.N.D on the game.
I was like, good gracious, ass bodacious, flirtatious, trying to show patience. I'm waiting for the right time to shoot my steam, waiting for the right time to blast them.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D will be back in just a moment. A tough way for the season to end.
We just threw gasoline on the fire.
The Packers fall to the Bears in the wild card round.
Where do we go from here?
Stay with us as we react to the defeat all day on the game.
Here are some comments from Packers running back Josh Jacobs meeting with the media Saturday night after the Packers fell to the Bears in the wild card round of the playoffs.
In the first half, it seemed like everything was clicking to the second half.
Man, I honestly, I don't really know. I feel like, being up that much, we can let our foot off the gas. And, we talked about it at halftime. We talked about it in the third quarter, and it just went how it did.
Is that troubling to you, Josh, just because you're part of the leadership council and you just talked eloquently this week about these moments we dreamed of? And you just, you lost 5 straight to end the year and just kind of the way this ended, too.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling just because, obviously, man, that's a game that I don't, 9 times out of 10, I don't get how we lose. And that's just me being all the way honest. So it's just one of those things. give credit to them. You know, they still a good team and things like that. But it's no way in my mind that you asked me at halftime or even before the game how the drives was going that we would have been in that position.
I think you could get the run game going a little bit more in the second half. You didn't have very many attempts.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like second half we had a few MEs, MAs just in the assignments on plays that we had, and it kind of forced our hands to do certain things. I think that even a lot of speaking on the run game was one block missed from big plays. So it was just weird, man. I mean, it's just a weird game. It's the only way I can really explain it. I can't say I really played in the game that you had that much momentum and up that much, and still fighting, and guys still making plays that it turned out that way.
As well as the first half went tonight, I wonder if a week from now you're going to look back and say, we lost our last 4 or 5 games. We weren't finding a way to close these things out. Will that sink in?
I mean, we've been talking all year about playing a complete game. Feeling like we haven't played a complete game, and find a way to win. We always talk about good teams find a way to win at the end. And, yeah, man, I mean, I feel like that's one of the things that as a team we have to work on.
Josh, was there a specific point in the second half where you felt the momentum shift? Was it the 3 and outs to start the third quarter, or was it in DJ Moore's with that touchdown?
Yeah, definitely 3 and outs. When I started looking at the clock, I'm like, damn, we didn't take no time really off the clock. And that was something that I was like, damn, I was kind of worried about. Just obviously knowing how this team is, and knowing how they play hard to the bitter end, and they got, 80% of their wins is like late comeback wins. So it was definitely something that I was starting to think about, and I even told the guys, in that third down when we got the ball on the fourth down stop, like this is the most important drive of the game, and we didn't come up with any points on that drive. So that's just how it is, man, in this league. So, yeah.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with James Bay to find out what it's like for him to tour and perform in the U.S.
It's a big old beast, America. Getting to play over here is a big deal. It's something I dreamed about from, I think, even before I picked up a guitar and was practically being musical. I remember being a little kid and seeing like Michael Jackson shows on TV or big artists like that, and looking at just the sheer scale of being a big artist in America and dreaming about what it might be like one day to do that kind of thing. So it is kind of a dream come true to be over here and to be playing the kind of shows I'm playing.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists.
Nobody can sum this up quite like Michael Stipe.
Yeah.
The boys from REM. Mark and Fond du Lac, right? Welcome back to D.N.D, by the way. 3 blown leads in the fourth quarter, and you guys say LaFleur should be fired and Hafley is getting a head coaching job?
Yeah.
I mean, fair? I will say that the defense was constantly on the field in the third quarter.
When the offense keeps going 3 and out, back to back to start the third quarter and, continually throughout the second half, that does not help with your defense there.
No, none of it's good. And I just, a funny thought hit me as we were listening to this music coming in. Have you guys seen the movie The Wedding Singer?
Yes.
There's the scene at which Adam Sandler is performing his song for Drew Barrymore's character, and it's about his ex-girlfriend. He's like, somebody kill me, please. I'm on my knees. Pretty, please kill me. I think that's more accurate. I want to die. I think that's how a lot of people probably felt losing that game on Saturday night.
Yeah, might have to find that for later.
It was I try whenever I watch a football game, and maybe I'm conditioned by 30 years in a press box. I mean, everybody around me, Dave and Hunter and all these guys are going. Even we got some fandom out of Drew.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry.
It's rare.
I never thought I'd see that.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd see that. How many times did you break Hunter's hand? At least twice.
Yeah.
By giving him.
And then he stopped high-fiving me after that.
They were more low fives. They were more like,
just
side
kind of
fives.
side, yeah.
So you really
Yikes.
wound up and just cracked him a couple of times. And I'm like, I want no part of this.
Yeah, no thanks.
I want no part of this.
I'm going to keep my hands to myself, yeah. And then, of course, that started with the Christian Watson touchdown where he's flying over everyone, and then it gets overturned, and it's not even a touchdown. So it's like, broke his hand for nothing.
I think we learned a few. Did the fourth down? I mean, the referee said something about because it was fourth down, you couldn't advance it. I don't think fourth down had anything to do with it, did it?
No, I don't. I think for that one, it's just because you can't fumble the ball forward because he fumbled it short of the end zone.
Yeah.
And then it was picked up by the Packers in the end zone, so you can't be a touchdown that way.
You can most definitely fumble the ball forward into the end zone and it can be recovered by a teammate. It happens all the time. I do think it meant because it was fourth down, you can't fumble it forward. Because you'd think if I'm short of the first down, it's a fourth down attempt. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to, I fumbled it forward. And that was one of those moments a couple of times this weekend where my mom's been watching football since the Super Bowl era. She texted me. She's like, what am I missing here? And I'm like, okay, it's because this, and this. This is why this, and this. And it happened a couple times this weekend. Just to speak to the weekend as a whole, you had so far 5 games, 4 of which were incredible for the average fan. And then last night's Patriots game wasn't.
We turned to Billy and asked him, and if he didn't know, he wasn't sure. So I'm like, Billy doesn't know.
Yeah, Billy doesn't know. Then how can we be expected to know?
The Packers in the second half, they started with a 3-and-out. Then they went to another 3-and-out. Then it was a 5-and-out, and then it was a 3-and-out. So punt, and they ran in those 4 possessions a total of 6, 11, math is hard, 9, 14 plays.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah, no wonder the defense started to let things up. And the defense was holding fairly strong for those first couple of drives. But yeah, towards the end, just absolutely gassed because the offense gave them nothing.
The time of possession that the Packers had during those first drives, mind you, as well. The first drive took 1:07 off the clock. The second drive took 1:39 off the clock. The 5-and-out took 2 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock.
Ooh.
And that final 3-and-out, 51 seconds off the clock.
Not good. Not great, Bob.
That's awful.
Yeah.
And
keeping the offense fresh.
Yeah. Well, and the defense gassed and then eventually gashed. So, can you make the assertion that, Hafley's defense gave up all those points? Yeah, but
how much of that can really be on half?
How much is that really is? You saw Quay Walker. Quay Walker looked exhausted by that fourth possession that the Bears had in that second half. All right. Hour number 2 is coming up. The talk and text line is open. We are wide open as well. Dave has an update. Stay with us on the game.
You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game. A tough way for the season to end. A loss to the Bears at Soldier Field in the wild card round.
Matt, I'm sure this hurts and hurts a lot.
Oh yeah, this is one of the toughest ones I think we've ever experienced. We were in total control of the game, and the second half just obviously was not enough, and we had just a lot of things that I feel like are uncharacteristic of our team.
We're picking up the pieces all day on the game.
Here are some of the comments from Packers quarterback Jordan Love after Saturday night's loss to the Bears in the wild card round.
Do you think Matt should remain the coach of this team, and why do you think that is so?
Yeah, I definitely think Matt should be the head coach. I got a lot of love for Matt. I think he does a great job, and that's it.
What does this team need then, Jordan, to take the next step?
Got to win games like this. You got to take advantage of games. You jump out to a 21-3 lead. You got to find ways to finish that and be better all around and just finish.
So how do you accomplish that? Do you need some better players, better play calls? How do you? It's easy to say go there and win, but how do you get that accomplished?
Yeah, you get back to work. It all comes down to execution.
You guys obviously played the Bears twice this year. Both games came right down to the wire. you and Matt both talked about the second half of this game. They brought more pressure. That changed some things. Would you, having seen them already twice, were you guys caught off guard by any of that? Any of the different pressures you hadn't gotten from them at this point? I mean, was there anything that was unexpected in the third and fourth quarters from your perspective that hurt you guys offensively?
No, I don't think anything unexpected. You know, I think they did a good job, obviously, kind of adjusting the scheme that they had first half. And, you know, we didn't do a good enough job at, you know, picking up their adjustments that they made and finding ways to take advantage of that the way we did in the first half. And that's every game you come into. You know, you do good things in the first half and teams are going to make adjustments. And, you know, we didn't do a good enough job overcoming that stuff. And I think we just hurt ourselves too many times.
Jordan, it's obviously a really tough situation in the locker room. What do you say as a leader? What do the other people say who are leaders on the team to try and help you guys think forward and all that?
Man, not much is said right now. You know, everybody knows what the situation is. It's disappointing. You know, we let one get away from us. You know, so not much is said. We'll get back to it and, you know, go from there, attack the offseason. You know, the same message that comes with any offseason is trying to find ways to get better and get back to work. But it's very disappointing right now.
What happened on the delay game coming out of the timeout? 30-10 in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
I mean, I can't even really process right now. But I just think we didn't I can't even process right now. You know, obviously, we just had miscommunication and weren't able to get the playoff. Yeah.
What's your overall take on this season? Was it a good season?
I think we did some good stuff. You know, I think there's highs and lows this season. We played well and then we played not very well. We dropped a couple games that I think we had, and you know, I think obviously ending the season the way we did is just disappointing. You know, I think you look back on it, I think we did some good stuff in the NFC North and improved, and that was something that we you know, was a goal for ours coming into the season after what we did the year before. But I still think there's more room. You know, I think we could have done a lot better. I think you know, we had a chance to win the division and we let it go. And you know, I think there's obviously, you know, there's some other games that were disappointing, but just highs and lows, you know, not consistent enough. And I think we just got to find ways to get back after it and improve. And I think it starts with trying to win the NFC North. We got to do that.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top 3 Blake Shelton songs you've thumbed up. Number 3, Honeybee.
You be my little Loretta, I'll be your Conway Twitty. You be my sugar baby, I'll be your sweet iced tea. You be my honeysuckle, I'll be your honeybee.
Number 2, Happy Anywhere featuring Gwen Stefani.
Any map dot location, you're always my destination. You're the only thing that I'm chained to. I can be happy anywhere with you.
Number 1, Come Back as a Country Boy.
When I die, I want to come back as a country boy. No, there ain't no better life if you ask me.
Hear more from Blake Shelton and similar artists now. Search for Blake Shelton on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Listen to us live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app and watch our shows each weekday on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are the game.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
All right, well, that was a terrible weekend there for Wisconsin sports, but there was a high point. Wisconsin basketball pulling off a massive upset.
Here comes Cadeau against Boyd. Cadeau front court down to 7 seconds. Lindeborg with 5. Hands off to Gale. Contested 3. Off the rim. No. Rebound Johnson. No. And the Badgers win it. They take down Michigan in Ann Arbor. What a fantastic performance from Greg Gard's Wisconsin Badgers as they send Michigan down for the first time this season.
Save that highlight from Matt LePay. That's one. I mean,
absolutely.
He's got a library of incredible calls.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of them.
Absolutely. Just an incredible win. John Blackwell, 26 points. Nick Boyd, 22. Badgers get their first quad one win of the season. Woo! Hopefully a turning point in the season for this group. But yeah, right. just an incredible. And no one gave them much of a chance at all.
Why would you?
Heading into this game.
I mean, in all honesty, right. I mean, yeah. I don't want to piss on anybody's parade, but why would you have given them
they were like
much of a chance?
18-point underdogs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I would wonder if that's the most significant win that they've had in terms of, how much they're not expected to win by or how much the opponent is favored by. I look at their reactions after the game is really interesting to me. The pure elation and the celebration from Guard and his staff and the players in the locker room. Like, I'm torn. I love excitement. I love happiness. But on the flip side, like it felt like
I love excitement and happiness. But
I love seeing good things happen to good people. I just
don't know where the line is.
I love love, but
like it's a Big Ten competition.
Yeah.
And it felt, and it's happy
right
that they were like a 10 seed in the tournament that beat the 1. Like it didn't necessarily feel like that much of a massive upset to me, but it was a really significant win.
Did it feel better or worse than storming the field at Camp Randall a couple of times this year?
I would argue it would have felt worse, but it was maybe a little bit better of a significance. Like, I mean, beating those teams at Camp Randall didn't mean anything. This means a lot to this team. But
how did you feel about something? How did you feel about storming the field?
I felt happier in the moments of the football games than I did on Saturday in the basketball game.
That's interesting.
Okay. Huh. Okay. You're going all Kurt Signetti on us here by just kind of.
I am Kurt Signetti-ing this. Yes, I am. Because, like, my expectation is that the Badgers were supposed to be competitive in games like this, that they were going to be good enough to win this game.
But
they've gone down a path of maybe being questioned.
But the way that they played the first, few games of their Big Ten schedule, I mean, I think we all go back to the debacle at Nebraska.
Yeah.
What would make you believe that they were going to go in and be competitive at number 2 Michigan? I mean, I think of one thing if it was at the Kohl Center, then again, you might have had a court storm at the Kohl Center.
Oh, you absolutely would have had one at the Kohl Center for that.
I guess my unwavering opinion. Unwavering opinion of what Greg Gard is as a head coach and what his staff can do.
Yeah.
I wasn't shocked. Right, I wasn't surprised that they won.
He is the silent assassin.
He's a great coach. I mean, I think that he gets so much crap for a lot of things that he shouldn't get crap for, but he's been a very consistent coach for I think he's perfect for Wisconsin. I mean, would you like to see, a couple of Final Four runs like they had under the previous regime? Well, not even previous regime, previous coach, because Greg Gard was part of those staffs. When Bo was taken to back-to-back Final Fours. Do you want to see that? Sure. But the way that Wisconsin has played, especially in the NIL era, I'm okay with it. I mean, they've got a lot of things going for them, and that was a great win.
Yeah, we talk about the Greg Gard gauge. We talk about the Greg Gard gauge and where it goes, pointing on the thing. His gauge is firmly on the Greg Gard is fantastic coach. Meanwhile, the Doc Rivers gauge might be pointing slightly differently. The Milwaukee Bucks lost last night to the Denver Nuggets, 108-104. Here's Doc.
I was frustrated down the stretch.
Weren't we all?
Due to the referee thing, but I mean, AJ Green just wiped him out and got a 3 off of that. And then AJ Green clearly got fouled on his 3. Like, it's the one play that you're supposed to watch. I mean, it was arms, hands. That's a 3-point shot. That's a tie game, and we missed. So 3 they got. This should have been wiped off from an offensive foul. And then 3 we didn't get. I mean, that's in a 1-point game. Those things matter.
Doc might be expecting a letter from the league in the next couple of days.
Might be, but
with a fine
attached. Can I confess something? After the Packers lost on Saturday night, I kind of pieced out on sports yesterday, I almost forgot, and I kind of did forget that the Bucks actually played a game until. I'm sitting down and doing my Madison in the morning, starting to write my Madison in the morning sports updates. I'm like, oh, the Bucks won. The Bucks played last night.
Yeah. Whoops.
I was like, I just want to watch. I want to watch YouTube videos and Landman on Sunday. I checked in on some of the.
That's completely fair. And we knew the result, right? I mean, like at this point this year, you kind of know what's going to happen. You're playing a good team, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And the Bucks are hunting in that boat.
They did beat the Lakers, though.
And credit to them for that. Giannis played incredibly well. Giannis has been playing well enough. I mean, certainly to win some basketball games. The surrounding cast isn't good enough. And that Giannis conversation, I'm sure we'll talk about it this week, so I'll save it for later. Someone will say something about him wanting out, and then I'll bring it up during Bruisers Bites, and you guys will be like, unless he says it himself.
Yeah, which he has already told the Athletic Sam Amick, I will never request a trade.
Right, but does that mean that he wants a trade? See, you got to read between the lines. He'll never request it, but he may want it.
Okay.
That's the question.
Yeah. Bucks play at home tomorrow night against the Minnesota Timberwolves, so they welcome them to Fiserv. The NFL playoffs, when we all know what happened with the Green Bay Packers. Elsewhere in the playoffs, the Rams held off the Panthers. The Bills held off the Jacksonville Jaguars. 49ers took down the Eagles. And the Patriots took care of the Chargers. Matthew Stafford's dealing with a finger sprain that he suffered. George Kittle tore his Achilles. That was a tough one to watch.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys see that there's this reporting about like some sort of factory, some sort of electromagnetism?
It's an electric substation that's right next to their practice field.
Right next to the 49ers practice field. And there's reporting that leads to additional
leads to wear and
injuries.
tear on the muscles. Yeah. It takes away
Really?
the collagen or something. Yeah.
Well, the practice facility is right next to the stadium. I know and every NFL team spends so much more time
at the practice
facility than they do at the stadium. So maybe it doesn't affect like visiting teams, but if you're always in that environment, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, it kind of wears it down over time. Like it's small, but like it could wear it down over time, wear down the muscles. So
some reporting on that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
And why they've had so many catastrophic injuries.
Well, and they've been just beset by injuries. We talk about the Packers all the time because that's, we live in their backyard.
But the Niners still won despite their injuries.
True. And have been winning despite their injuries this year. But if that's the case, I mean, if you're the Niners, you got to consider moving your facility somewhere else, right?
You would think.
You have to. And they've had so many, soft tissue injuries over however many years now. I mean, it just keeps happening to them over and over and over again.
Interesting.
And Kendrick Bourne, a player on the team, even made mention of it in his post-game presser or post-game interaction by his locker, saying he was thanking the substation because he's a fringe depth player who has now been thrust into a more significant role this season.
Thank you for taking out all of my teammates with catastrophic injuries.
When I was a freshman, 2 kids broke their individual feet. One of them, I think both right foot, but I got moved up the depth chart and played a ton in basketball as a freshman. It was hype, but it came at the expense of some injuries. So I can understand the perspective, but just making mention of it is interesting that he would even acknowledge it.
Yeah. So that's going to be another blow to the San Francisco 49ers, but I mean, they do take out the reigning NFC champion. So we're going to have completely new Super Bowl this year. No Chiefs, no Eagles are going to be in that one. Tonight, Texans, Steelers. Nick, how we feeling?
I'm feeling good. I would say that the law of averages would suggest that tonight's game could get ugly because 4 of the 5 so far have been good. I'm just hoping that the Steelers are at home where they have not lost in their last 23 home Monday Night Football games. Feeling pretty good about that. It's Monday Night Football. It's in Pittsburgh. I think we all can root for Aaron Rodgers now, right? Everyone's free to root for whoever they want now that the Packers are out, and I'm sure a lot of people don't care anymore because their team is out of it. But Texas
we
offense
still don't
isn't
want
good.
him to face the Bears in the Super Bowl, though. The Bears got to come up short.
Sure. From a storyline perspective, as I outlined last week, it would have been best between Steelers-Packers. Steelers-Bears would be the most Aaron Rodgers specific best storyline, but I couldn't care less. Just get a win tonight, move on, win your first playoff game since the 2016 season. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So that's going to be a fun game tonight. Also, over the weekend, Friday night, the college football playoff, Indiana destroyed Oregon. That was a massacre.
Awesome.
That game was 35-7 at halftime. So Indiana moves on to face Miami in the national
in
Miami in the national championship game. So that one's going to be fantastic. That is a week from,
or it could
tonight.
be a blowout. You never know. I mean, Indiana's been beating the crap out of everybody this year.
I mean, it is insane. Now we're seeing people talk about, it's like, let's see them go up against the 2019 LSU Tigers.
Maybe. There's also,
I mean, it is that level of dominance.
And the fun fact that I saw this weekend,
I love fun facts.
I think Jen Latta tweeted this out. I'm not sure, but I believe Indiana doesn't have a single 5-star recruit on their roster. Not one.
Yeah.
They have.
You got a lot of guys with experience.
True.
They have 8 total 4 or 5 stars. So it's certainly possible they just have 8 4-stars. And Ole Miss and Miami and Oregon have at minimum 40 4 and 5 stars between them. So that was really special. But it does speak to the transfer portal and how you can build a roster with guys, as Kurt Signetti has highlighted. He wants guys with production instead of guys with potential. And Preston Zachman, a guy with a lot of production here at Wisconsin, is going to go there next year. So happy for Riley Nowakowski. I might be backwards on this, but I'm wholeheartedly pulling for Indiana, and I have been. Doug, you've stated your opinion on it. You know, outside of the Big Ten first, then who cares? Mendoza's a Miami kid. He grew up, I believe, he said 1 mile from campus. So it's a very cool storyline. Mendoza's, I think, one of my favorite players in a long time. And he's getting better on the microphone, I think.
Yeah, he certainly has a lot of fun talking on the microphone. But yeah, so they're going to the national championship game. That's going to be coming up next week. And speaking of transfer portal, Dylan Raiola is now transferring to Oregon from Nebraska. So he leaves I would say he leaves the Big Ten, but that's not true anymore, is it?
No,
He stays
in the Big Ten because there's only 2 conferences left in college sports.
Exactly. But Dylan Raiola is going over there because Dante Moore is expected to go to the NFL, but he could not. But Dylan Raiola, I think, is expecting Dante Moore to go to the NFL. So he goes over there.
Get that Phil Knight bag.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin gets his quarterback, Sam Levitt, from Arizona State.
Okay.
He gets that in the transfer portal. Some big quarterback moves over there in the transfer portal. So yeah, we're seeing Wisconsin also try and make some moves. Haven't seen as much lately, but the Badgers are up to 25 transfers. They got Tennessee edge Jaden Lofton over the weekend. So it is a loaded class that they got coming in here still.
And Eugene Hilton officially, I guess, today is no longer in the transfer portal. So that's cool. On your quarterback conversation, Dave, Ty Simpson, who's already stated he's going to go to the NFL, he's still getting NIL offers as high as $6.5 million for next year.
You can make more money in college than you can in the NFL in a lot of ways because, eventually, and this is one of the things that I'm going to do when I fix college athletics.
Yes.
Is you get 4 years and then you're done.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no more 6, 7, 8, 9-year college football careers.
Yeah.
Once you go, you go. The other part that I'm going to fix is that, we're to the point where if you're going to sign a contract over a certain amount of money, if it's going to be over, like, say, $1 million, you have to automatically it's going to kick in and you're going to have to sign a multi-year deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agreed. And this is why I'm voting Doug Russell for NCAA president.
Thank you.
He'll fix it.
I'll fix it.
And he's even catering towards the kids when he said 6'7". So, I mean, he's covering all his bases.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go. Also, and I believe when we left things on Friday, we said Charles Perkins was heading into the transfer portal. He has changed his mind. Charles Perkins, defensive lineman, will return to Wisconsin for next season.
Like to hear that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. I'm looking at the map of Levi Stadium right now. Now, so there's another. So I did a Google search. I'm fascinated by this story, and I know we've got bigger things to talk about. Like it looks like the Packers are going to keep Matt LaFleur, for example. So I'm looking at it right now. There is this substation that is literally
right there.
Literally right there. It's just to the south of Levi Stadium. And it's right next to their practice facility as well. Now, who's claiming this, by the way? Because it seems like the reason that they built Levi Stadium where they built it is because the land was cheap. The practice facility was already in Santa Clara. It was already there. So they built Levi Stadium because the land was cheap. They originally wanted to build in San Francisco, but San Francisco property values are
got some issues.
Enormous.
Yeah. Watch out for poop on the street, too.
I've been to San Francisco. You don't. Come on. That's over.
Depends on which parts, but
no. Some parts in every city, some parts are better than others. Every city has its problems.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not smart enough to know whether or not this has anything to do with it. I'm just fascinated by the theory. I'm fascinated by the story.
Yeah, because all that exposure over time, can it wear muscles down?
I don't know. What about the people who work at the substation? Because people have to work there.
Yeah, but those guys also aren't, trying to run 20 miles an hour and get hit by 300-pound linemen.
Oh,
that's right.
So, yeah, and maybe they needed to put the substation in there to have enough electricity for the stadium, just kind of put it right there because, stadiums draw a large amount of electricity, to run stuff for game day. So,
yeah, but if that were the case, you'd have a substation next to every stadium.
Yeah, well, maybe they just built it that way for convenience, just because okay, it's a new area, cheap land that we're developing, just put it right there. Why not?
And well, the other part is, I mean, this is also a residential neighborhood kind of as well, because just to the south of Levi's Stadium, there's a whole neighborhood of houses and apartment buildings. People live there. There's all kinds of stuff. There's a Six Flags near there to the north of it. And then there's a bunch of hotels that are near. I mean, this is a neighborhood that, people live in. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm fascinated by the story. I'm fascinated by the theory.
Well, yeah, it's not great. I mean, if you're a Niners fan that now you see this, I can't imagine that makes you feel better about your team's injury luck moving forward. Now you feel like it's malpractice by the organization to put your players in that position. But I'm finding myself in a position where it's hard to pick a team in the NFC that I'd like to win or move forward. I don't have any good feelings about the 49ers. I don't like the Seahawks that much. So what am I supposed to do here? Can't pull for the Bears. I guess it's the Rams.
Yeah,
come on, Matty Stafford.
Yeah,
but that hurts Rodgers. If Stafford wins another Super Bowl, it's bad for Aaron Rodgers. So that's legacy for my guy.
No, it's not.
That's 2 Super Bowls for Matthew Stafford.
So what?
Aaron's only got one.
That's not going to hurt Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is still going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame. There's nothing that's going to stop him.
They both are. Aaron Rodgers has 4 MVPs. Matthew Stafford might get one this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not going to hurt Aaron Rodgers. I'm all in on the Rams right now, unless the Bears win. And then I'm all in on either Seattle or San Francisco.
Yeah. I'm all in on whoever's playing the Bears.
Right now, my sole focus is beating the Bears and getting them out. Now, is it going to make anything? Is it going to make me feel better about the wild card rounds? Is it going to make me feel better about Saturday night? No, it's not.
Make me feel better in general.
I'm not going to have the Schadenfreude that Cubs fans have when the Brewers went in and got swept by the Dodgers because they were like, "Oh, fly the L now." I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I just want them done. I just want the Bears.
Well, Wisconsin sports teams are 0-5 in the playoffs since that moment. So thanks, Trevor McGill and Nick Mears.
Yes.
Okay.
They ruined everything for you guys.
They did. So I'm all in on the Rams right now until I'm not. So we'll see what happens. What about
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I mean, so that's one of the questions.
Go Rams.
And we'll get, we would love to get your thoughts on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line as well at 877-794-1973. I mean, is that the rooting interest now? Do you care about anything else? I mean, obviously, Nick, what is I'm trying to, is that a TJ Watt jersey you got
this
on?
One's Watt
number
today.
90.
We got the Watt on
there you
today.
go.
Got the TJ Watt jersey on today.
Repping Wisconsin.
Of course.
Love that.
That's right.
Pride of Pewaukee, part 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Derek.
Part 3, actually.
Sorry, Derek.
Yeah.
No,
Derek's like, oh, come on.
Come on.
I made it into the league.
Hey, so did Chris McIntosh. He was the original Pride of Pewaukee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So and he played for the Seahawks briefly.
I'm trying to think of other players. Jack Golke. He had a hell of a run.
I mean, he had a hell of a couple of days. Let's be honest.
A hell of a run.
He had one great game, and you know what? That
was enough.
I said this at the time, but I felt terrible for Jack Gelke because he peaked athletically. I mean, he's never going to be more famous. He's never going to have, now I hope when eventually, if he gets married and has kids, he'll have higher moments personally, but his basketball career peaked with one game and then everything else because you knew it was just going to go crashing down after that. And it did. Well, that's okay. He had that moment and good for him.
Right.
Well, I mean, just also
had more of an athletic moment than any of us ever did.
Yeah.
Pride of Pewaukee, Chris McIntosh as well. Can't forget about him.
I just said that.
Yeah. Come on, Nick, pay attention.
I was heavy in the research here, trying to figure out who the hell else was from Pewaukee.
Well,
Milan, the guy with the college basketball player with Iowa State, is a Pewaukee.
Okay.
But like going back to Jack Golke there, I mean, there was a butterfly effect from him going off in that game because, that led to Calipari leaving, him going to Arkansas, Pope, Mark Pope going to Kentucky and like the changes there, and BYU. And now what they're doing over at BYU with Kevin Young taking over, it all started with Jack Golke just destroying Kentucky.
And you know where that all started? Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
That's right.
That's right.
So, yes, you're repping the Pride of Pewaukee part
TJ
3, 4?
3, 4, something like that.
Something like that. So didn't think we were going to be talking about Jack Golke today, did you?
No, I certainly did not.
All right. So what's your rooting interest on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973? Besides Nick, who obviously is rooting for his Steelers tonight. They will be taking on the Houston Texans. So we will. I wonder who JJ Watt's rooting for.
Ooh, yeah.
The Texans. He did a hype video for them earlier this week for their
interesting
beginning of the
Very
playoffs.
interesting. Well, he certainly wasn't doing it for the Packers because they didn't want him back when he was still playing.
They probably
was a swing and a miss.
him.
I'm guessing that is. I would like. I'm choosing to believe, and maybe this is my own just cover my eyes, cover my ears, go la 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 la. I'm choosing
like
to believe.
Maduro, just
I'm choosing
in a Nike Tech.
In a Nike Tech. Where am I? I can't see anything. I'm
I don't
blindfolded.
know. Is this a water bottle? What is this?
Where are you taking me? Well, I guess I get a helicopter ride. Anyway, where was I? What I think is going to happen with TJ or with JJ Watt, and I choose to believe this, is that his agents just didn't tell him what the number was. Yeah. And it was extraordinarily low. And the Packers, when they were doing their original due diligence, if it was $5 million, because he signed for a lot more than that. He signed for like 15 or 16
something, yeah.
With the Cardinals. I choose to believe that the number was so low, the agents just said, don't tell him. Just, the less he knows, the better.
We don't want him to take that.
Yeah, we don't want him to take that because that impacts our commission.
Yeah.
We think we can get him more money, which means we can get us more money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. We'll continue on the talking text line. Do we get everything there, Dave?
Yes, we did.
Excellent. The NicoletLaw.com talking text line is open to you. As always, 877-794-1973. We'll talk about Matt LaFleur apparently getting a contract extension. We'll talk about that. We will continue our postmortem of the overriding theme of today's show, and that is, well, that sucked, from Saturday night. Also, the blame game. Was Jordan Love clutch enough? We'll hit that coming up. Perhaps some changes coming to Green Bay as well, certainly on the coaching staff and on the player personnel roster. What do they need to do if they're keeping the head coach? What else has to happen for this team to get back to where we all think they can be? 877-794-1973. Got a bunch of messages on the talk and text line. We'll hit them on the other side. Stay with us. It's Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper. It's D.N.D. on the game.
Down the street with the people way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of speed. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat?
Green Bay loses a tough one to Chicago, and their season comes to an end.
Second half, you just look back on it, and we just couldn't get anything going. Came out, a couple 3-and-outs to start, and it was really disappointing. I think after the first half we played, being able to drive the ball down and score, it seemed like every time. Just got to go back and look at it. But, it's just lack of execution and finding ways to make plays that really just hurt us.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are analyzing every angle of the playoff exit all day here on The Game.
Here are some of the comments from Packers quarterback Jordan Love after Saturday night's loss to the Bears in the wild card round.
It's obviously still fresh, but trying to look forward, what does the offseason look like for you? What are maybe some of the biggest things that you want to accomplish in the offseason?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. It's too early. We'll see. Obviously, just, get back to work training, break down the film of tonight, of, the whole season as a whole, and I think it's every offseason is trying to see what we did well, see what we didn't do as well, and find ways to just keep getting better. But, yeah.
What did you think of Matthew Golden's night?
I think he did some really good things. I think his touchdown catch was, one of the more impressive plays of the season. And so, I think he had a good night. He made plays when the ball came his way, and, that's all he can do. So we'll find ways to keep getting him going.
Two more. Aaron used to say about NFC Championship games, we got to get one at home. 3 years in, you still haven't played a home playoff game as the starter. You guys have to be better during the regular season, so you're not in this number 7 seed, go on the road all the time mode.
Yeah, I think if you go out and win the division, you won't, be in that situation. You'll have some home games. So, yeah, it's an area we got to improve on as well. We got to be better throughout the season. We got to find ways to win, the close games and just, not drop any games on the season. But it all comes down to beating everybody in the NFC North,
Jordan, where do you need to be better next year?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of areas. I think just being more consistent as a passer, keep understanding every situation I'm put in, and how to be the best, quarterback I can be for the team. But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff I'll look at to keep improving on. But I think it always just comes down to being as consistent as possible.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Elton John songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Tiny Dancer.
All the clubs are tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Baby darling, she's so landing.
Number 2, Rocket Man.
Up on mine, they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man, burning out the fuse out every home.
Number 1, Benny and the Jets.
She's got electric boots, I'm more food. You know I'm better than a magazine. No, Benny and the Jets.
Hear more from Elton John and similar artists now. Search for Elton John on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to reflect on the WOMAD Festival's evolution.
We initially started this WOMAD Festival in 1980. The first one was 82, and it was very naive enthusiasm for some of these strange and wonderful things we were hearing. And as a failed drummer, I was hearing grooves that I fell in love with, which seemed a lot more alive than what I was hearing on the radio. As a singer too, these wonderful voices, and it's still continued that way. And it's a lot more difficult, because the demise of the music business and record stores has made it extremely difficult for any minority interest label. But we work hard to focus online activities, and there is still, happy to say, good audience, and the WOMAD Festival is, I think, like a lot of live parts of the business, actually flourishing, even though the records are not doing as well.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
Where is the moment we needed the most? You kick up the leaves.
You're really going to hit every sad song in the library, aren't you there, Dave?
Yeah, maybe. If there was ever a day to do it.
Yeah, it's the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the Packers, well, they started out having a really good day.
Yeah.
And then
it ended very, very badly.
And then they had a bad day.
Yep.
They started out in the first half dominating. Their first drive, a 9-play, 85-yard drive, resulted in a touchdown. Second drive, 10 plays, 87 yards, resulted in a touchdown. Their third drive was a short one. They only needed 32 yards to score a touchdown. And then they had an opportunity to score back-to-back touchdowns, and that's when things started to go to hell. Missed field goal, granted, it was a long one, 54 yards by Brandon McManus. But that's kind of what started it all. And then after halftime, it was just a tale of two halves, 3 and out, 3 and out, 5 and out, 3 and out. And by that point, the momentum had violently shifted the other way. The talk and text line is open to you at 877-794-1973. Starting to spin through some of these. Josh and Tosa, I don't know how the Packers can bring back LaFleur. He's a soft coach, and the team reflects that. Ben Johnson came into the division and surpassed LaFleur in 1 year. Let's get Harbaugh on the phone. Your reaction?
Harbaugh would be a similar vibe coach, a coach that has not been able to deliver in the postseason, a coach that has lost a lot of games at which he led. I think that the reason you keep a guy like Matt LaFleur is because he is truly responsible for the offensive side of the ball. Harbaugh would come in and have no control over the offensive plays and the defensive plays, and you put yourself in a position where if you hire the right offensive coordinator, he's gone. He gets hired to be a head coach elsewhere. That's the value in Matt LaFleur, and I think that's why you would vehemently decline ever giving up the play calling. So I think Harbaugh's a good coach, but I don't know how he's an upgrade.
Play calling in the second half certainly didn't seem super ideal. But yeah, Harbaugh made his rounds, worked his way up as a special teams coordinator. And special teams, I believe, for the Ravens for the last 18 years or so, I believe are pretty good. So maybe he can you bring him in, maybe that'll help fix some of the special teams issues certainly that you've been having. Yeah, you're probably going to need to get yourself a different offensive coordinator, a play calling offensive coordinator, and kind of develop guys that way. But hey, maybe some sort of change in that direction is a good thing. Having something different, than the play calling head coaching and having it be on an offensive coordinator, a really good one if you can find one. And if you can have it that way, like having that be different isn't the worst thing in the world, because what they've been doing for these past several years under LaFleur has not gone particularly well.
Let's see on the talk and text line. Let's see. This is Steve in the 608. Those stats about losing when up by 10 minutes with 5 minutes to go are insane. It's even more insane that Matt LaFleur will keep his job despite those startling statistics.
Yeah. 3 times this year where they have lost up 10 with 5 minutes to go. And going back to 1970, from 70 to 2024, prior to that, just 1 loss, all those years combined. And you have 3 of them this year.
Well, and you have to take it at its fact that it was just this year, right? I mean, it'd be one thing if it was, hey, last year in the playoffs, they did the same thing. 2 years ago or 3 years ago in the playoffs or a must-win game, they did the same thing. It is contagious to this year, the 2025 Green Bay Packers. And that's the hope. That's the belief, is that it was and is 2025 Green Bay Packers problems, and 2026 Packers are a different group with a different health status in a position to kind of get rid of those demons, exorcise them.
And as I said in the first hour of the show, and I think it bears repeating, in my opinion, everybody can choose their own path, of course, but I would never fire a coach. I use the term coach killer. I would never kill a coach. Figurative line of speech, not literal, of course.
Yeah.
I would never kill a coach for 1 game. Everybody has a bad game. Sometimes the players don't execute and everything just goes poorly. If it's just 1 game, I'm like, what? It's disappointing. It sucks, but you get them next year. The Packers have had this year, as we were just talking about and have talked about, all of these late leads that they've just gacked up late and have lost games that were winnable. And even before Micah Parsons got injured or Tucker Kraft got injured or Devontae Wyatt got injured. And then it was whether it's against Cleveland, whether it's against Denver, whether it's against Chicago the first time, well, I guess the second time, or if it was what happened on Saturday night. That's one element of it. The other element of it is in big games outside of the Cowboys game 2 years ago, the Packers have curdled up and turtled up when it mattered in the postseason. They did it in 2020 against the Buccaneers. That was a winnable game. They did it in 2021 against the 49ers, an incredibly winnable game.
Right.
Those are the ones that you start to wonder, well, what exactly is happening in big games that this team doesn't rise to the occasion? And also the other thing is, I know coaches sometimes get fired after 1 year. I mean, you look at the Pete Carroll situation with the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, I get it. It was probably a stretch to, try to bring in a 74-year-old coach to, lead a younger team in the first place. I thought that was an odd fit to begin with. So they fired him after 1 year. Okay, that happens. Gerard Mayo, as Mike Vrabel is showing, maybe Gerard Mayo wasn't the best, coach for the Patriots at the time. This is 7 years of this. And I know that Aaron Rodgers through the first couple of years when they were going 13-3, and then they won 13 games through, then they expanded the schedule, but 13 wins 3 years in a row, and Aaron Rodgers is getting them deep into the playoffs and into the NFC Championship game, and then it just kind of falls apart. Then those are disappointing, but I mean, the sample size is there. The sample size is acceptable if you look at the whole situation and say, all right, regular season success is one thing, but in the postseason and in these big games, and you lost 5 games in a row, okay, maybe it's time to think about something else.
Yeah, I think it certainly is time for that kind of change. And, it sounds like they're going to extend it, but at the very least, he has got to make some severe changes on his coaching staff. I think you got to get rid of Bisaccia. I think you got to make some changes on the offensive staff as well. That has to be like the bare minimum here, because we've seen it sometimes before, Doug, where coaches where it's like, okay, we're not going to fire you, but you got to fire this guy. You got to get rid of him. You got to get rid of some of these guys on your staff if you're going to keep your job. And sometimes those coaches refuse. I mean, there's a report in Baltimore that John Harbaugh didn't want to get rid of Todd Monken as OC. And so instead they fire Harbaugh. And they're just going to completely start over with that staff. But, Doug, in your experience, when you have, these kinds of basically ultimatums where it's like, okay, it's either you go or you're firing a bunch of your staff, how often does it generally work out where you keep the head coach, but you fire the whole staff, where it's like, okay, now the changes are really made.
Well, that's what they were doing in Baltimore. I mean, that's what they kept trying to keep Harbaugh, change the offensive identity, change the offensive culture, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And that's why you need a coach that is responsible for one of those two things so that the consistency can remain on one side of the ball if you fire the other opposite coordinator. So if Hafley leaves and LaFleur is no longer your play caller, which I think is unlikely. I think he would quit before they would do that, before he would give up his play calling. I think that's what makes him who he is. Then you're talking about a whole reset in Green Bay. So it's really interesting. I pulled the stats on this from earlier. Harbaugh, in particular, has blown 18 double-digit second-half leads, which is the most by any coach since 1991.
That's a lot.
18 second-half double-digit leads have been blown with John Harbaugh as your head coach, and that is as of December 22nd. I don't think their last 2 games of the regular season ended up in that scenario. So Harbaugh is an interesting cat. He's looking for a new beginning. I also saw this on Matt LaFleur in terms of his time in Green Bay. 6 of 7 years they've made the playoffs. The 1 year they missed was, had they beat the Lions, they would have been in. But the first 2 times they made the playoffs, it was NFC Championship game. Second 2 times, NFC divisional round, and then the last 2 have been wild card. Like they're going backwards in terms of progression in the postseason, which is fair initially with the absence of Aaron Rodgers, especially playing at an MVP level.
Sure.
I also just fielded a call here, which is rare in Madison. Typically the calls go to Dave in Milwaukee. And Biff made mention of maybe he thinks the NFL is putting their hand on the scale in terms of the Packers and their opportunities, because he thinks it's better for the NFL to have a rejuvenated Chicago Bears team in terms of interest from the general audience. I've never leaned into, and I never will, the league is rigged, games are rigged perspective. But if we take it at face value, from a national interest perspective, not that the NFL had anything to do with it, I would wonder if more people preferred that the Bears had won that game this weekend. And it is an interesting one to have because we think the Packers are America's team at this point, that most of America could potentially be rooting against them in that spot.
Yeah, with all due respect to Biff, honestly, thank you for the call. I couldn't disagree with that narrative more than I possibly could. The Packers are one of the very few, not only league-wide brands, but worldwide brands. And globally, I know a lot of celebrities are Bears fans. You know, Ashton Kutcher, I saw him being interviewed on the Rich Eisen show,
It's
for
Chicago.
example,
It's a big
last year.
city, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I think Common was on the sidelines shooting pictures before the game. I don't know if he was on the field during the game, but he had a photographer's vest on. And you know, there's a million celebrities from Chicago that are huge Bears fans, and I get that. And Chicago's so much bigger than Green Bay ever could imagine being. That having been said, I don't know that there is another team that has more fans not from Wisconsin than the Green Bay Packers. Justin Timberlake is a Packers fan. Dawson himself, James Vanderbeek, is a Packers fan.
Lil
Wayne is a Packers fan. Nelly Corda is a Packers fan. I mean, it's just one. You run into not from Wisconsin Packers fans everywhere you go, and worldwide, the Packers are one of the biggest NFL brands there are. So I dismiss that narrative. I think it's interesting.
Right.
I don't buy it.
I'm not endorsing the perspective that there's some level of fix in, but I do think it is intriguing to consider if the Packers' consistent success has put them in a position where not equal to, but similar to the Chiefs. Or like, are the Packers a team that even if 40% of people are rooting for them, as 60% of people rooting against them because they want to see someone new? That's lends into my sports socialism conversation where people pick on me because I want to see different teams win.
Right, but the Packers haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years.
Right, but they've been in the playoffs. The Bears have been terrible. Right, so it's easy to pin them against the Bears and find that one of them clearly is lesser, and that's been Chicago forever. So I think that the Packers have found creative ways to lose games, and I hope moving forward they find creative ways to win them. The Bears have played, and Caleb finished his season against Green Bay 2-1, having performed in only 1.5 of those games. First half in all three games.
First half
were
was
bad.
awful. Yeah, the first half he was terrible. And the Bears have had so many come from behind wins this year. So, I mean, I hope that doesn't continue. Go Rams. We'll continue taking your calls on the talk and text line 877-794-1973. Keep them coming. We've got a lot of them. And, you know, we're just keeping asking the question. So what's your fandom from here on out? Did you, like me, peace out on sports after the loss on Saturday night? What's next for your sports fandom? Hey, the Bucks are still playing basketball. The Badgers had a huge win. Maybe you're a hockey fan. The Wisconsin men's and women's hockey teams, they're playing well. If you're in Milwaukee, maybe you head more down to the Admirals than you would have before. The Brewers, hey, listen, spring training starts next month. There's a lot of things that, you know, tomorrow, the sun's going to come up tomorrow, one way or another, even though it won't on the Packers season. But it will renew again because season 105 is, as they say, right around the corner. We'll be here before you know it. But we're continuing on the talk and text line, continuing on here on D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper. Stay with us on the Game Radio Network.
Well, you need a blue sky holiday. The point is they laugh at what you say.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment. A tough way for the season to end.
My goodness.
As the Packers fall to the Bears at Soldier Field.
Well, obviously, this one is going to hurt for a really, really long time when you are in complete control of a football game and the script gets flipped in the second half. And it was a lot of self-inflicted things, and give credit to them. We knew they were a team that could come back and fight. I mean, they proved it all season long, and we had opportunities to kind of put them away, and we didn't get it done.
We're picking up the pieces all day on the game.
Here are some comments from Packers running back Josh Jacobs meeting with the media Saturday night after the Packers fell to the Bears in the wild card round of the playoffs.
Josh, you're an emotional leader on this team. Just how are your emotions doing? And when you look around at the guys you care so much about, how tough is it to see their emotions flowing as they are?
The thing that's the hardest for me is I know a lot of guys put everything into this, and I see the things that they do on a day-to-day basis to be able to even be in this position, to be able to become a better player or be a better player, or try to capitalize on this opportunity. So the emotions that they going through, I just feel for them, man. I mean, obviously I feel the same type of way right now. Feeling like I did all that I could. It's just one of them things, man. I haven't really processed it yet. It's still just kind of a daze.
Claire was telling us that it all hit him at once. We were just talking to him. Do you feel like it's kind of hitting you now, or you think
well, I know I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight, so I know most likely it's gonna hit me when I get in my bed and I just sit there and start replaying everything. And I think the hardest day is gonna be tomorrow, seeing the guys and knowing that we're not, preparing for another week. So, yeah.
Suddenly, what do you reflect on, or what do you kind of say, hey, we need to be better?
Say that again.
What do you say? How do you reflect and say we need to be better in this department? I know it's tough because it just ends so suddenly. Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just finishing games. I think that's the biggest thing. Mental stamina, physical stamina, just throughout the game. Closing people out. Like I said, we was up, but it's damn near too many points. Like, it's no way you should lose games in this league up that much.
Are you concerned about Matt and just all the swirling status? Or
I'm not too much concerned about Matt. I feel like the fans put way too much pressure on him on what they feel like he should be at. But at the end of the day, he's still, since he's been a head coach, the most winningest coach in this league. Like, I think we take it for granted how much just winning is. And how much winning he does. I think that he's become a great leader since I've been here. And I think that, he cares a lot about this program and, the people in the building. And I see him, put in extra work every day. And I know what he means to the players. So, speaking for myself, I'm going to stand firm on, wanting them to be the head coach and wanting them to figure something out with.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Jason Aldean to discuss what his top 3 priorities are when choosing and producing new songs.
I think for me, it's subject matter has a lot to do with it, what it's talking about. A lot of the songs I've sort of built my career on over the years have been, a lot of it's kind of been that blue collar sort of Amarillo sky type stuff, So that's a big part of it to me. Melodies are a big thing. I feel like I know what melody-wise, what I'm good at singing, what I'm not so good at singing, or what doesn't really come natural to me. So I kind of take that into consideration too. And then obviously lyrics. Lyrics are the thing that, really is going to sell the song. You can have a song that sounds great, the riffs are great, but the lyrics are horrible, and that's, no good. So really it's a combination of those 3 things. And, and that's the thing. You listen to hundreds of songs to find, 10 or 15 that all those things kind of match up, and it's, you put that one aside and then go look for another one, and then you end up with 10 or 15 that go on the record. But it's that's why it's a long process, because they're hard to find, songs that just have all those qualities. You have to dig pretty deep to find those a lot of times.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Jason Aldean and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Josh from 21 Pilots, describing the first time he heard one of their songs on the radio.
It was in my hometown, and I was driving around with my sister. We were at a stoplight, and the song came on, and I kind of thought it was a CD for a second. And my sister told me that it was actually on the radio, on our big radio station. And the light turned green, and I was kind of mesmerized for a second, just kind of taking in the moment. And then the light started turning yellow, and I'm like, oh, I should probably drive. People are honking and everything.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists.
I went and stayed too long. I'm wondering if your love's still strong. Ooh, baby.
I'm sensing a theme here to the music.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. like a little subliminal message there that you're sending out, Dave.
Yeah. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah. Well, it's you're kind of slapping me upside the head with it, aren't you?
I'm not very subtle at times. No.
Welcome back in, D.N.D. We are approaching the halfway point. Stormy from the 608 writes, get my glasses on for this one. It's a long one. LaFleur started taking his foot off the gas at the end of the first half. You could tell that message got through to Love as his throws way safe. Okay, anyway. A shot at a 55-yard field goal in 20-degree weather and wins at 25 was just enough to kill your kicker's confidence the rest of the game. I don't know if I agree with that. The safe calls the rest of the next 3 drives were awful. I will say this. So at the end of the first half, I mean, either kick the field goal or don't. Either go for it or don't. Why? I don't understand why Jordan Love would take a 2-step drop and wing the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
I don't get that mentality. Either you're gonna run a play, a legitimate play, or you're not. Either you're gonna go for it or you're not. If you're setting your kicker up for a 54-yard field goal or a 55-yard field goal in those conditions, that is a recipe for disaster. And I thought that they were just playing it safe. And I don't agree with, all right, 2-step drop, wing it out of bounds. And he did that twice to kill what amounted to about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Something like that. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Like, can we at least try and get 6 yards out of this?
Make it a little bit closer. Work the sidelines if you have to. You had one shot at the end zone if you wanted to. But again, poor clock management. And I just don't understand the mentality of you're setting your, and listen, Brandon McManus, if his confidence was knocked by that 54-yard field goal, then he's a mental midget and needs to be sent out of town. I don't think that's the case. I just think he had a bad game, like a really, truly catastrophically bad game. But his confidence should be fine as someone who gets paid as much as he gets paid to kick field goals. But to, 2-step drop and just burn a couple of seconds. That to me is a loser mentality. You're playing not to lose.
Yeah.
And that's to me, maybe that's what started. Maybe Stormy in the 608 is onto something.
Yeah. I mean, once they got up so big, it's, they even talked to LaFleur at halftime going in. It's like, hey, we got to keep the mindset, keep the foot on the gas. But then he absolutely did not. Micah Parsons tweeting from the suite said, no, we got to keep the foot on the gas all 4 quarters. We cannot let them up. Like, we got them down. We got to keep them down there. And then they didn't.
It's almost like he's seen this play out once or twice this year.
Yeah, a couple of times. This year, seeing it with the Cowboys his entire career prior to this. So
yeah, it doesn't help that the Packers were really in a position of great advantage before the break that they would feel that they can play it safe and take the field goal and not risk anything. And had it been a 21-10 game, you'd think maybe they're a lot more aggressive there. Yeah. That they would have tried to make it a 2-touchdown game instead of just.
And you had time on your side too. I mean, I know that they didn't want to give the Bears any time at all, but I would rather give them, 5 seconds and take a shot at it.
Yeah.
Than playing with they were just playing with their food at the end of the first half.
But then also, if you come out in the start of the second half and you don't go 3 and out and you march down the field, it's also a completely different story.
Well, and Stormy, as he writes, or she, I don't know. I don't know if Stormy's a man or a woman. I have no idea. It's just Stormy. We'll just pronounless. Yeah. Inexcusable not being ready for the first series in the second half. Almost a delay of game twice in a row. That's true. And delay of game after a timeout in the second half. Inexcusable. No arguments. Hour number 3 coming up. Stay with us.
A tough way for the season to end. A loss to the Bears at Soldier Field in the wild card round.
Matt, I'm sure this hurts and hurts a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean this is one of the toughest ones I think we've ever experienced. I mean, we were in total control of the game, and the second half just obviously was not enough, and we had just a lot of things that I feel like are uncharacteristic of our team.
We're picking up the pieces all day on the game.
Here is Packers head coach Matt LaFleur's interview with Larry McCarron after the Packers fell in the wild card round of the Bears on Saturday night.
And Matt, I'm sure this hurts and hurts a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean this is one of the toughest ones I think we've ever experienced. I mean, we were in total control of the game, and the second half just obviously was not enough, and we had just a lot of things that I feel like are uncharacteristic of our team.
Speaking of that change from the first half when you dominated to the second half, Anything you can put your finger on right now?
No, there was a lot of things really in all three phases. I think certainly the start of the second half with our offense, too many 3-and-outs and just not scoring points when we had an opportunity to put this team away, and you didn't do it. And we knew they're a team that if you let them hang around, I mean, they've had 7 fourth quarter comebacks or whatever it is. And that's exactly what happened.
How'd you feel about the work of Jordan Love and his receivers? They all seem to make plays.
Yeah, we've got a great receiving room. I thought Jordan Love played his ass off and really competed at a high level, and quite frankly did enough to where we should have won that game.
Didn't seem like you had an answer defensively as the game wore on for Colston Loveland, the Bears tight end. He had a bunch of catches, and he hurt.
Yeah, he did. He's a really good player. Give credit to them. They found ways to get him open, and he made us pay.
The kicking game, 3 missed kicks tonight, 2 field goals, 1 extra point. Was conditions a factor, or how are you looking at that?
Yeah, I think conditions were, but it doesn't matter. You got to find a way to get it through the uprights, and I mean, obviously that played a big role in this.
Is it really tough? All the hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and they all come to a screeching halt. Is it really tough to call it quits on the season?
Yeah, it's always hard. I mean, these guys battled, and I hurt for them. I hurt for our fans, especially when you were in a position to win a football game, and we didn't get it done.
Thank you, Matt. At a tough time, thank you.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Aretha Franklin songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Number 2.
Freeway of Love.
Number 1.
Respect. Hear more from Aretha Franklin and similar artists now.
Search for Aretha Franklin on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music.
All your favorite stations.
All free.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top future songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Wicked.
Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Hold up, wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Way over, way over, way over. Now she going, know that going. I purchased Aviani, now she lit,
Number 2, Commas.
Let's go some commas. Let's go some commas, yeah. 100,000 to 100,000. 100,000 on 100,000. 200,000 by 100,000. $1 million out money shout. Let's go some commas. Let's go some commas, yeah.
Number 1, Mask Off.
Rep the shit, gotta rep the shit. Gang, gang, chase a chick, never chase it. Chase no mask on, get mask on, mask on, get mask on.
Hear more from Future and similar artists now. Search for Future on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Your attention, please. We are the Gang and the home of D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave. Weekdays from 10 to 2, live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X by searching 97.3 The Gang.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, it was a tough weekend across the state, but we did have a high point. The Wisconsin Badgers get the 91-88 win over the Michigan Wolverines, number 2 ranked team in the country. And a big part of that was Alexis Biliauskas.
Boyd against Burnett. High screen, Biliauskas. Boyd will use it. Drops it back to Alexis for three. Good again. Alexis Biliauskas with 3 triples. 46-42 Wisconsin. Minute 40 gone by second half.
Biliauskas ended up with 4 straight triples to start the second half as Wisconsin's momentum just completely took over there. Biliauskas ended up with 17 points, a career high. Massive game for him.
Yeah, massive game for him, massive game for the team. Biliauskas is just also fun to say.
Oh, yes.
So we appreciate that. Fun to hear when
he was
Matt says it on the broadcast.
Yeah. It's quite the name for sure. I mean, probably need a nickname for him moving forward.
No, you don't. Biliauskas is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AB,
Alexis
I think they're calling him.
Biliauskas. By the time you're done saying it, they're already on the other end and they've already scored. And then Michigan had to layup and back. He made 4 straight threes to open the second half. They were leaving him open. This was an opportunity that the Badgers were hoping to exploit, and they were able to do so. 5 threes on the day, and a freshman doing that. I know he has overseas professional experience, but onions for that guy.
Onions for sure.
Yep.
And big celebration for the Badgers as they get that win there. They doused the water and Gatorade on Greg Gard as he got back into the locker room. Not quite the same in the Packers locker room after their loss in the wild card. Chicago coming back obviously in the second half. Javon Bullard, did the Bears do anything special?
No disrespect to them, but it ain't what they did. It's us. It's us. We got to finish. We whooping their ass the whole game. Like that's us. We got to finish. They ain't do special. We got to finish. We ain't finished last time. We ain't finished this time. So that's some we got to work on within us. It ain't nothing new. Chicago ain't do special. They ran what they did. They did what they did. They made plays. Okay, cool. But a lot of the stuff is on us, and we got to fix that shit.
Well, that was put it quite frankly.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong from this standpoint. I mean, you give the Bears credit. They took advantage. The Packers, that was an absolute collapse. I don't know how else you can look at it. The Bears won the game. Nobody's questioning that. Are the Bears that special? I don't know. They've had some special comebacks this year.
Yeah.
It looks like Caleb Williams has that clutch gene, and oftentimes that is what spells success versus failure. And the Packers this year did not have anywhere close to the clutch gene that the Bears had all year long. And if that's Ben Johnson, okay. If that's Caleb Williams being unlocked by Ben Johnson, okay. If it's just dumb luck that the Bears, kind of turned around what had been a bugaboo for them into a positive this year, okay. All I know is that right now I'm all in on the Rams. And, Javon Bullard's right, but yeah, you got to give the Bears some credit.
Do you root for Davante Adams like you would for Aaron Rodgers, or is there still more at stake in your opinion that you'd prefer one former Packer over the other to win a Super Bowl?
No, if Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers win the Super Bowl, I'm fine with that.
But Davante Adams taking on the Bears, so.
Yeah,
I'm all in on Davante Adams. Let's go.
Yeah, this week I'm all in on Davante Adams. Now,
3 tutties this week. Come on now.
At this point, listen, my rooting interest is completely out, except for the Bears. I need them out.
Yeah.
After that happens, I don't care what happens, but I think it'd be a great storyline if Aaron Rodgers were to get to another Super Bowl, and I think it'd be even more fun if it was against Davante Adams. So yeah, I mean, I can root for the Steelers the rest of the way. I have no problem with that. I have no real rooting interest either way.
I wasn't challenging you on if you would root for the Steelers. Essentially, I was asking if you feel the same level of interest in Davante Adams as you would Aaron Rodgers.
No, probably more with Aaron just because he was here longer, I guess. But I like Davante. Davante and I had a fine, at arm's length, of course. But
and of course, he's facing the Bears. So
I was never
want him to have all the success in the world this week.
I was never over at Davante's house, taking part of his Taco Bell that was in his living room or anything like that.
But he had that in Green Bay.
He and I always had a fine relationship.
I thought that was in Vegas. That's cool. And Davante's a good dude. I think that's pretty unanimous across the league. I haven't found anyone to think that he isn't. A great teammate, a good, valuable player on the team. I don't know if he's ever ruffled too many feathers.
No, not really.
Generally pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and Aaron, to reporters in full transparency, Aaron Rodgers was a pain in the ass most of the time, but he's a great player.
Didn't Devontae win like the good guy award or whatever it is that
couple
the
times,
Packers have? Yeah, for availability there. So
Good dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And his Rams held off the Panthers this week in the NFL playoffs. Bills held off Jacksonville. Patriots took care of the Chargers. 49ers took down the Eagles. So Philly is done after winning the Super Bowl last year. And some local news crew in Philadelphia interviewed this young Eagles fan by the name of Sam. And he is, let's just say he was a little upset with his Christmas gift.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think the audio is a little off on that one.
Yeah.
Well, let me pick you up. Here it is. I got it as well. Here we go.
You got it?
All right.
Yes, this was a huge letdown. This was my Christmas present, and I got a loss.
Oh, no. You probably would have rather had Cole, huh?
Yeah, probably. I'm feeling two of two things. A, I want A.J. Brown packing his bags, and I want him somewhere else that is not here. I love you, A.J., but, you can't make those drops in that game. And I also want Kevin Patullo flipping burgers at, the local McDonald's or something. I don't care.
Why do you say that?
Whenever he's an offensive coordinator, it's like he's flipping burgers. One side, he's cooking. One half he's cooking, and the other half is completely raw.
Give this kid a show.
Let's go.
How old is this kid?
I don't know. It looks like what, 10 maybe?
Yeah.
Give
9,
this
10
kid
years
a
old.
show. Kevin Patullo flipping burgers because on one side he's cooking and on the other side.
Just
that's
completely
so
raw.
good. That's so good. That's like the I don't know if you guys saw the Hershey Bears. They had an intermission.
Oh yeah, the kids were fighting.
Yeah, it was like pee-wee hockey, and the kids are dropping the gloves, just beating the snot out of each other. I'm like, all right, kids are gonna be all right.
Yeah, there is hope for the next generation. We love that.
That's tremendous.
So, just incredible there. 49ers taking down the Eagles. They lost George Kittle to a torn Achilles, so that's going to make it tougher for him. But so that helps set the matchups here for the rest of the NFL playoffs. Meanwhile, it's locker cleanout day for the Green Bay Packers. Zach Tom, talking to reporters, says he'll likely have surgery on his torn patellar tendon that he suffered in Denver.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft says he feels ahead of schedule in his recovery.
Okay, that's good.
Micah Parsons, talking to reporters, said he's hoping for week 1 return, but more realistically, he's expecting a week 3 or week 4
it's probably
return.
I mean,
next
that's
year.
pushing it a little bit. So I think Micah needs to take his time. You want him back for the stretch drive. And I don't know. Obviously, we don't know when the bye week is going to be next year. If it's an early bye week, I wouldn't hate him sitting out until after the bye week and then ramping it up. Listen, Christian Watson came back and he was in great shape, way ahead of schedule, and that was awesome. But not everybody heals like that. I hope Micah does. I hope Tucker does.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a tough injury to come back from.
Absolutely.
To not paint a grim picture, but to provide some color to the Zach Tom conversation. There was a study. This was based around Ozzie Trapilo, I believe is how you pronounce his name, left tackle for the Bears, suffering a patellar tendon injury. Per USA Today, that cited a study from the Orthopedic Journal of Sports Medicine, an analysis of patellar tendon tears in the NFL of players between 2009 and 2023 painted a grim picture. The overall re-tear for patellar tendons was 55%. For players with patellar tendon tears, 21.4% returned to their prior performance level within 2 years, with 7 players doing so the next season and 5 players doing so the second season post-injury. Essentially, 45.6% of players with that injury never returned to NFL action.
Wow.
And nearly 80% didn't return within 2 seasons to their prior level of production.
But it was only partially torn.
Right.
And
that's the silver lining here. I'm not attempting to say that Zach Tom is in the same boat as Trapilo, the offensive lineman for the Bears, but patellar tendon injuries are very significant at the NFL level. And Zach Tom now, it seemed like he was close to playing this week. So I don't know what the decision was. Hopefully that lends towards it being rather minor on the scale of what is a very significant injury. But the data suggests Zach Tom might be in trouble for next season for sure.
Yeah, it's like shoulder or rotator cuff injuries for pitchers in baseball. Like, you get it in there, that's very tough to end up coming back from. Like labrum tears, rotator cuff. That's really the tough stuff. Not even elbows anymore. But also Mike Parsons says on Jeff Hafley that he ain't going nowhere. So Micah Parsons thinks Jeff Hafley is going to stay. Hafley has interview requests with 5 of the 8 head coach openings in the NFL so far.
My prediction on Hafley is he's going to end up in Miami. That's my guess.
With John Eric
Sullivan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That could
and
be.
so and there is some speculation reporting that, Miami was committed to maintain Mike McDaniel, but when they found their general manager candidate that they were most interested in and wanting to hire, John Eric Sullivan, that things changed because he probably said, hey, I'm not going to take this job unless I can hire my own head coach. And I have a guy. Hey, maybe that guy is Jeff Hafley's soul.
It kind of reminds me of Liam Cohen last year on the flip side, where he's like, hey, I'm interested, but not if Trent Baalke is the GM. And then he's like, all right, fine, I'm walking away. I'm heading back to Tampa Bay. They're like, no, wait. We'll fire Trent Baalke. Trent Baalke, get out here. You're fired. Okay, I guess I'll come back and take the job now.
Then they hired that like baby-faced dude that's like 31, but looks like he's like 18. I can't quite remember.
I think you're confusing that with Draft Day, the movie where they got the kid GM in Jacksonville.
Not quite, but Jags GM he does look very young.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But his name's James Gladstone.
Yeah,
and honestly, he looks like he's certainly like Dave's age, and I guess Dave is 30, and this guy is 35. So roughly 30, Dave. Roughly
29.
30. Roughly 30.
Yeah.
I mean?
But also, this guy doesn't look like can grow facial hair. So
probably can't, Dave, and you sure can. Look at that thing.
Not all of us can. Okay.
Yeah,
that is right.
But
looks
still,
good.
like Doug, you at least like look like you can have a beard if you wanted one.
Really?
No, I can't.
Really?
No.
I mean,
okay,
it's okay.
No,
it's all right.
I mean,
Mr. Clean doesn't have a beard.
The longest I've gotten, is about 2 weeks, and then it gets too itchy, and I'm like, it's got to go. But it also, when it gets to be a couple of weeks, I've reached the age where it comes in kind of salt and peppery, and mostly salt.
Right.
Less pepper as the years go on. So I don't know. It's
just looks like you got like pencil smudges on your face. Is that what you're saying?
I have never. Let's see. When I was in high school, I had a full, huge, just massive head of hair with a just wonderfully flowing mullet, and it was glorious and spectacular in every single way. And then I turned 20.
Oh.
So for what it's worth, I have never grown hair well, and that's fine. That's fine. Not everyone can. Not everyone wants it. But I also don't. I also will never have a hairy back that I ever have to wax or anything like that. So
that is good. That is.
Some people are afflicted with that. Some people can't help that.
Yeah, that is.
That has never been my issue.
No. Yeah.
Tough break there for sure. I did want to make mention of this too. Like I'm going to skip it now because we played the Philly kid in this update. I'm not going to include it in Bruiser's Bites later. I just wanted to ask you guys' opinion on who's in a worse position moving forward, the Packers or the Eagles. And it's easy to say, well, the Eagles got a Super Bowl, so who cares? But like in reality, they have a very talented roster, and they might be rudderless at head coach, offensive coordinator, and maybe even quarterback moving forward.
So catch me up on the whole Nick Sirianni thing, because again, they won a Super Bowl a year ago. You're not gonna flush your head coach after winning a Super Bowl.
The recipe is that, first and foremost, Jalen Hurts in particular, he has not had the same offensive coordinator in consecutive years since he was in high school.
Yeah, I get that.
So they're constant revolving door at offensive coordinator, and they go as that coordinator on that side of the ball goes. The head coach really has no impact. In the years at which they've had successful, good offensive coordinator play callers, they've been good. In the years that they don't, they're this dysfunctional mess where they are ugly the entire season. A.J. Brown and the coaches are fighting. It happens all the time. Players are infighting. But because they're winning, like they did last year, you kind of brush it under the rug and you say, whatever, they won the Super Bowl. Well, now it rears its ugly head again. They don't have an offensive coordinator again. Nick Sirianni doesn't necessarily command the level of respect you'd anticipate in a locker room as a head coach. And there's always constant turmoil. And I think that there is some level to, at what point is the winning not enough to maintain your current status quo? It's a hard argument to make that they would fire Sirianni as it stands now. But I don't think you have a lot of confidence in him moving forward. As I said, kind of rudderless. Like, do you know what you have at head coach? Do you know what you have at quarterback? Because Jalen Hurts just finished the year 4 straight games, less than 200 passing yards. Yesterday, he had less completions on passes 15 yards or more than Jawan Jennings did, who is a wide receiver. And he had 0 completions of 15 yards or more down the field, Jalen Hurts. And then additionally, you clearly don't have an offensive coordinator in Philly.
Right. So, I mean, the offensive coordinator situation they can address in the offseason. If Nick Sirianni gets flushed in Philadelphia, he gets a job before he can clean out his office.
I don't think so. And I guess that's just a difference of opinion. I don't know what he has proven on his own.
Ring.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
But, Doug Peterson didn't get a job instantly. He had a year off. I mean, these guys aren't necessarily shoo-ins to maintain. I get your point, though, like that he has won a lot of football games, but he's also won a lot of football games with a roster that's been constructed excellently.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's questions
and
about
who
he is outside
manager.
of Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, the coach is only as good as his players. I get that. But, with Doug Peterson, he did get another job. And was he a great coach?
Not great.
Not great. But he got another job. Nick Sirianni's with the a quarter of the league, quarter of the league right now. They've got
quarter of the league.
There's a quarter of the league that has openings right now. You don't think that somebody, if the Arizona Cardinals, for example, as miserably as their run, if Nick Sirianni is out on the open market, don't think for a second that they're at least not going to call him and offer him the job. He may not take it. Sirianni might not take it, and I wouldn't blame him for not taking it, but at least he's got a call.
It's the same way with John Harbaugh. When he got let go within 45 minutes, 7 teams, allegedly, per his agent, called him. So it's like that phone's going to be ringing off the hook pretty quickly.
You guys don't have any difference of opinion on quality of coach between the two of them. Like, he has no offensive input, essentially, and he doesn't control the defense. And I know that's the same boat John Harbaugh's in, but Harbaugh has an 18-year track record of winning football games with a plethora of different roster configurations and different personnel.
Sure, I think there's a difference here, though. Nick Sirianni, in a young man's game, Nick Sirianni is 44 years old. John Harbaugh is 62. So you want a younger coach. Sirianni is someone, if you look at his coaching record, his first year was 2021. They went 9-8. Then they improved to 14-3, dropped down a little bit to 11-6. Then the next year, 14-3 and won the Super Bowl, and then 11-6 this year. Nick Sirianni's getting another job. He's been to the playoffs every year that he's been a head coach. He's going to get another job. If you're Philadelphia, Philadelphia had another head coach before Sirianni and before Doug Peterson that also was never an offensive or defensive coordinator, guy by the name of Andy Reid. Still coaching right now in Kansas City, famously. He's the all-time winningest coach for 2 franchises and is one of the best coaches in NFL history. Was never. I know he's a play
calling the plays, though.
Yeah, I get that. I know that he's been calling the plays, but he was never a coordinator.
And it's not necessarily like me weighing in on Nick Sirianni, who he is as a coach, but simply with the pelt that he has on the wall, with what he has had for success in Philadelphia. I think he's going to get another job fairly quickly.
Well, yeah, and this is probably all moot point. I mean, he will keep his job this year, and we'll see what next year looks like. But I think you have questions, at least. You don't have a firm opinion on what he is as a head coach that you would think you'd have having won a Super Bowl. Like, is it fair to say that there are more doubts than you would ever anticipate for a coach that just won a Super Bowl last year? I would say yes. And then you look at your quarterback and you don't know exactly who he is anymore. He was once a great running quarterback. Now it's just the tush push or nothing. And his arm talent clearly doesn't hold up. And you'll be on another offensive coordinator next year.
And Doug Peterson got thumped 4 years after winning the Super Bowl and after a 4-11-1 season. So, I mean.
But I absolutely would agree wholeheartedly that essentially 1 year removed from a Super Bowl is too soon to fire a coach that you feel like you have some level of success with outside of the Super Bowl run. Like Tom Coughlin. He had the Super Bowl runs with the Giants, but outside of that, they were not a particularly effective team. And even in the years at which they won the Super Bowl, I don't think that they were ever considered going into the postseason, hey, this is the best team in football. They just had 2 magical runs. But Doug Peterson, 4 years, and with John Harbaugh, it was 13 years. Like there's some level of, hey, I know you won a Super Bowl, but you're not the right guy for this job. Long story short, my question was, who do you think's in a better position moving forward, Packers or Eagles? And I would argue that I think the Packers know who their quarterback is and have a more well-established identity on the offensive side of the ball, whether that's Matt LaFleur calling the plays or moving forward, somebody else. I would argue the Packers are in a better spot moving forward. But there's certainly a debate. One team won a Super Bowl last year and the other team hasn't won a playoff game now in 2 seasons.
If you're asking me who I would rather be moving forward right now, the Philadelphia Eagles or the Green Bay Packers, honestly, it's Philadelphia because they've got the most recent success there. I mean, I think that's significant. And yes, I would, who's the better quarterback, Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts? I mean, moving forward, it may be Love, but Jalen Hurts also, we talk about pelts on the wall all the time when it comes to either coaches or quarterbacks. And he's got that. He's done the things that Jordan Love hasn't done yet.
I just think there are so many questions about who is Saquon Barkley now at this point in his career.
Well, that's another one. That's a good question.
How do you maintain A.J. Brown? Is he going to be a part of your team moving forward? It's a $20 million cap hit.
The kid told us.
You trade him, it's a $20 million cap hit for next season if you trade him. If you cut him, it's $100 million moving forward. Like, you are in a no-win area with him, and you have an offensive line that includes a lot of guys that are kind of going backwards. Lane Johnson's really old.
Sure.
You're in a position right now where you have to become a defensive team in Philly, and if they're ready for that, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, well, that's why they got the exciting whites in the defensive secondary.
And I've always said
one of them's not good, though. Blankenship's not that good of a player.
If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, if you're going to have some suck on the back end, that's okay because trophies are forever. Banners are forever. Rings are forever. I mean, that's part of the price of doing business in the National Football League is that dynasties aren't supposed to be a thing. Now, that's been defied a couple of times, but most recently by the Chiefs and before that, the Patriots. They're not supposed to be something that is long and sustained. That was the design of Pete Rozelle when he introduced parity into the league, when he introduced revenue sharing into the league, when he carved up the television contracts the way that he carved up the television contracts. Smart football decisions still have to be made. But, I mean, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I know you want to win every year. I get that. That's just fandom. And Philadelphia fans are notoriously fickle, if you will. Notoriously, we've got to win every year. If you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I've got to think you should be pretty satisfied.
Shouldn't have lost this game, though. I mean, there's no reason a fully healthy Eagles team against an injured and on the road 49ers team.
I agree.
Yeah.
So they're alternating seasons of utter failure with Super Bowl runs. And it's like, you got to find some level of consistency there because they're closer
to
that Super Bowl caliber team.
If I get a Super Bowl run every other year instead of every year,
with that.
I'll still take that. Yeah, absolutely. So
I guess the Chiefs have spoiled it. Chiefs and the Patriots over the last 25 years have spoiled it.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you have that caliber team, you should be competing at that level every year. And the Eagles had no excuse this year not to.
Well, that's why it's put up or shut up time for a team like the Buffalo Bills, for example. I mean, they've been on the precipice of being an elite team year after year after year after year. It's like, well, get to the damn Super Bowl then. You've got an elite quarterback. You've got,
and no Lamar to go through, no Mahomes to go through this year. Like, if there was ever a year, you'd think this would be the year.
So
in the AFC.
Yeah. It is honestly put up or shut up time for that team specifically. But but at some point, you still had to slay the dragon. That is Patrick Mahomes. You still had to slay, if you're the for example, the Colts for so many, during that era between the Patriots and Colts and Brady versus Manning. Manning at some point, and he eventually did, you have to break through and you have to slay that dragon. I mean, that's just part of being, if you're going to be thought of as an elite legend of National Football League history, you've got to do that. And right now, that's on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Soon that's going to be on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be coming up on that. A couple other final notes here that I had for the update. Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback for Ole Miss, was denied a 6th year of eligibility by the NCAA.
Good.
He says he'll fight it in court.
Why? Go to the league.
Yeah.
It's time to go to the league. Trinidad Chambliss is going to be, I think he's going to be a fine NFL quarterback. Go to the league.
Yeah, you just had your best year as a college football player.
But everybody with
your name is going to be in those circles. Just go to the league.
With that NIL money, everybody's trying to stay in college football as long as possible.
But take the lesson from Nazir Forkurine. Don't bother trying to fight it in court, because you're just going to end up sitting and waiting, and most likely just going to be held out, not allowed to play. Then you're going to be a year removed from actually playing. Your draft stock is going to tank. Like, just go. Just go to the NFL now. You'll be drafted at some point. You'll go somewhere and you'll be able to make something. Like, just go.
In his rookie contract, he's not going to be making as much as he would with NIL if he comes back after this season. That's what he's thinking about. That's what his agents are thinking about. And it's short-sighted thinking. Go to the league. That's one of the reasons that it's one of the reasons that college football and college athletics right now is horrifically broken. It's sixth year of it. Get out. You get 4. You get 4 and you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, Quinn Ewers was another one. He's like, I could have had another year of eligibility. Like, a lot of people were wanting me to transfer, but I said, you know what? No, I'm just going to go to the league.
Just go to the league.
And he was a 7th round pick, and he got a chance to start late in the season.
Sink or swim, baby. I mean, that again, you can't be in college football forever.
Nope.
Sorry, you get. I'll give you when I'm in charge of the NCAA, you get 1 redshirt year.
Yeah.
You use it whenever you want. You get 1 redshirt year. That's it. You can use it for an injury if you like, but if you're injured, too bad, so sad. It's time to go to the league. And if you can't make it, it's time for the next guy to come in. Sorry. That's it. I thought about it. It's like, do I give, as I become the college football czar, do I give everybody a 6th year if there's an injury? No. You get 1 red shirt year, and you can use it however and whenever you want. That's it. But you got to go to the league.
Yep. Completely agree. So we'll see what ends up happening with him. Also in Major League Baseball, during the Packers-Bears game on Saturday, the Cubs signed Alex Bregman to a 5-year, $175 million contract. And it was right around that time that the game started turning for the Bears. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the momentum, because Jeff Passan at the time was like, hey, maybe Alex Bregman can score a red zone touchdown. Obviously sliding the Bears, but then the Bears obviously scored several touchdowns. So maybe that was the thing that flipped it for Chicago.
A lot of deferred money, which is cool.
Yeah.
Cubs kind of playing in those big market team waters, which they should more often. Good player, makes the infield interesting for the Cubs. But obviously, I mean, I'm happy about it. I think the Cubs are, I mean, as I should be. And if the Brewers sign him, people will be ecstatic. But we'll see. We'll see. A lot of people are already overreacting. We'll let the teams play the game when the season begins in a couple months here, and then go from there. But a step in the right direction. But it did definitely turn the tide in the Bears game. They were directly correlated.
Yeah. So
it's messed up.
Yeah, you're just loving it over there. Yeah.
It's just the karma.
I didn't want the Bears to win.
Karma's a bitch, man.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so they end up getting that signing. And how will the Brewers respond? Probably by trading Freddie Peralta. But you know,
they got to do what they got to do. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think they got to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say got to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's
they got to do what they got to do.
They don't have to trade Freddie Peralta, because you're not. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like said something like we said last week. If you're the Brewers, there's no reason to trade Freddie Peralta unless you're out of it. And right now, at 0-0, they're not out of it. They won 97 games last year. Are you trying to be a contender, or are you not?
Yeah. And, Ken Rosenthal over the weekend put out there, what the Brewers are looking for in a Peralta trade, and said, they will ideally want the return to include a young major league ready replacement, which is exactly what I said last week before Rosenthal put it out. And then he's listing the teams. Who's in the best position to land him?
Dodgers.
The New York Mets actually were his listed. And that's exactly who I said was going to be one of the teams with the best position.
Do you want Kenny's number? I'll just give it to you if you want to start feeding him info.
Yeah, maybe it might just have to, but so still a bunch of teams with interest that could entice the Brewers. Also listed the Red Sox, Braves, Yankees, and Dodgers. So we'll see what ends up happening on that front. But Brewers are looking for young major league ready replacement for Freddie in the rotation if they're going to trade him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I that's so dubious. It's raising the red flag before you need to raise the red flag. It's raising the red flag before you're even in danger.
Yeah. Red flag or the white flag?
White flag, good call.
Yeah.
Good call. You're raising the white flag. Listen, I don't think they're going to be 10 games under 500 when July 31st rolls around. But if you are, then you trade them.
Yeah. But I don't think they're going to be. They have every intention to compete, and they have the roster to compete. So, and like the Cubs, like, okay, yeah, they get Bregman, but they're still losing Kyle Tucker. So, how much
Not
are they?
so fast. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it seems like a foregone conclusion that Kyle Tucker is gone. So, like, are they getting better, or are they just getting closer to replacing what they are losing? I don't know.
We shall see.
All right.
That
cover it?
Yep, that
All
covers
right,
it.
good stuff. We'll hit the talk and text line coming up on the other side. We got a number of questions as we dissect the debacle of Saturday night, the Saturday night massacre in Chicago, if you will. Let's see. Who you rooting for from here on out? What's next for you in your sports fandom? We Bucks, Badgers basketball with a big win on Saturday. Brewers start spring training, hopefully with Freddie Peralta in a little over a month. Bucks are still playing basketball. Not great basketball, but basketball nevertheless. So we'll take your thoughts on the talk and text line on that. And also, what other changes would you like to see? It looks like they're going to keep Matt LaFleur, but what other changes would you like to see in Green Bay? Still got a lot of time to take your calls and texts on the NickLayLaw.com talk and text line. It's D.N.D, Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper. Stay with us on the game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. A tough way for the season to end.
We just threw gasoline on the fire.
The Packers fall to the Bears in the wild card round.
Where do we go from here?
Stay with us as we react to the defeat all day on The Game.
Here are some of the comments from Packers quarterback Jordan Love after Saturday night's loss to the Bears in the wild card round.
Yeah, I mean, second half, you just look back on it, and we just couldn't get anything going. Came out, a couple 3-and-outs to start, and, it was really disappointing. I think after the first half we played, being able to drive the ball down and, score, it seemed like every time. Just got to go back and look at it, but yeah, I mean, it's just lack of execution and finding ways to make plays that really just hurt us.
Do you think you had trouble sorting out their pressures in the second half?
Yeah, I think we didn't do as good of a job, picking that stuff up, and it kind of hurt us, not being able to, pick those up and make those big plays down the field. So, it's something that, like I mentioned before, we'll look at, but it definitely hurt us.
On the play with 7 seconds left, when the snap gets dropped, are you trying, and Matt had mentioned that you might have been trying to go to some outside play there to pick up 8-10 yards. Was that the plan on that play, just to pick up a quick 8-10 if they gave you the coverage you wanted, or was that play always going to be a shot play into the end zone?
No, we had a play called, to be able to take a shot to the end zone, and then, depending on the coverage they're playing, how soft they were, trying to pick up a easy couple yards of sideline. So that's what we went to. And, when I fumbled the snap and, couldn't get that, it kind of turned into last-second Hail Mary.
Matt just said that the team as a whole needs to do a better job staying composed, and he said you guys were disheveled. We've heard a lot. You guys are still young, but you have that playoff experience. Why do you think that this team doesn't have that composure in some of these big moments still?
Yeah, I don't think we don't have the composure. I think it's just a situation we put ourselves in, jumping out to a lead and doing what we wanted in the first half, and then second half kind of a completely different story. So, I think for any team that's going to be frustrating, and you got to find ways to be able to, overcome that and, get back to it. And I think we did, but it was just a little too late. But I think it's just part of the situation we put ourselves in.
Jordan, we always say the quarterback gets too much credit, too much blame. When you do what you did tonight, you did a lot of really, really good things. And yet the staff is probably killing you. How do you walk out of here tonight feeling personally and as a team?
Oh man, it's tough and very disappointing. You know, I think everybody in that locker room feels the same way. You know, we had a game where you know, we couldn't finish it and let a team come back and beat us. So it's very disappointing to end the season on a note like that. So yeah, everybody's very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. That's it.
For Jordan, when a season ends the way it has with the losses and then tonight, a lot of times changes happen. I don't know what they'll be, but are you ready for what might come next? I mean, these kinds of losses, a lot of times they have really far-reaching ramifications.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, jump to any conclusions or anything, but you know, we'll see what happens going forward. And I mean, that's the case for every, you know, end of the season and going into the off season. That's always the case. So, you know, we'll see, you know, what, if anything comes forward, if anything. So we'll see.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Bryan Adams songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Run to You.
When it gets too much, I need to feel your touch. I'm gonna run to you. I'm gonna run to you. 'Cause when the feeling's right, I'm gonna run all night. I'm gonna run to you.
Number 2, Heaven.
Baby, you're all that I want. When you're lying here in my arms, I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven.
Number 1, Summer of '69.
Standing on your mama's porch, you told me that it lasts forever. Oh, when you held my hand, I knew that it was now or never. Those were the best days of my life.
Hear more from Bryan Adams and similar artists now. Search for Bryan Adams on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
You've got a thing or two to learn about me, baby. 'Cause I ain't taking it no more. And
I'm waiting for the hook to kick in.
Waiting for the hook?
Yeah. I'm sure there's something here.
Yeah.
Who is this?
This is Patty Loveless.
Oh.
Yeah, Blame It On Your Hearts. We got on here, you know, the blame game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blame It On Your Heart.
A little bit of a stretch, but okay. I see
Yeah,
what you're
well,
doing.
you know, heart, love, you know.
No, I'm critiquing all the bumper music and the themes that you weave in.
Right, yeah, you know, try. But you
Yeah,
know,
you are playing the blame game.
Gotta love Patty Loveless, you know.
Oh, yeah, sure.
A little bit.
I know that you're a huge country music fan.
Oh, yeah.
Is she in the rotation?
I mean, not regularly. You know, she's, you know, a little bit, you know, before my era generally, but, you know, she's got some ones that you still kind of know.
But you're a huge Shania Twain fan. I know that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But they're kind of in the same genre,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, same genre. I think Patty Loveless started a little bit before Shania, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Love Shania.
Oh, I'm aware. I
Yeah.
know. Listen, I mean,
that's understood. We
Yeah.
recognize that.
we get that. I understood
You're
that.
not alone.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel that way.
One time when it was me and Tim Allen doing a show, literally the night before, we did not plan this, but the night before, there was not much else on. I think it was like a Brewers Off Day or something.
Mhm.
So we both ended up watching like the Shania Twain documentary on like, you know, whatever channel like 1266 or whatever it
Okay.
is, you know, and like we were just talking. It's like, he's like, yeah, I was watching this, you know, documentary on Shania Twain. I'm like, wait a minute, I was watching that last night. And we had a fun time talking
Nick
about it.
hates her because she's Canadian. Welcome back in.
yes.
I hate that she's Canadian. I don't hate her. I
Well-
just wish she was American. And then we can all wholeheartedly lean into what we all recognize, that she's
Your
a very
distaste for
attractive,
Canada is-
very talented woman.
Your distaste for Canada is odd to me.
Yeah.
It's 99.9%.
Where's the Blame Canada song from South
It's
Park?
like
Maybe I need that for-
99.9% manufactured.
Yeah.
I-
Blame
I-
Canada. Blame
But,
Canada.
That's right. It is their fault. A lot of things are their fault.
The wildfire is okay. I'll give you that. That's you might want to
come on, guys.
Might want to throw a little water on those just to clean
It
up the air
happens
quality
every
a little
year.
bit.
Have we not learned?
I know. Let's see. We have a message from California. From the 951. This is California.
They also got wildfire issues. But anyways, continue.
True. The Packers downgraded from McCarthy to LaFleur. This bozo can't manage leads or the clock and is supposed to be an offensive genius. Hired Robert Saleh as head coach. Robert Saleh would not take Matt LaFleur's job.
Wouldn't that be? I saw someone post this. They said, how about this? And I think their whole thing is a shtick. They're joking. Robert Saleh as your head coach. Matt LaFleur, offensive coordinator, and Jeff Hafley. Who says no? They're all buddies.
Matt LaFleur is not going to take a demotion.
Matt LaFleur is not. Well,
of course not.
He might have
at least
to
not
leave
in
first.
the same spot.
Right.
Yeah, he's not going to be demoted to OC of the Packers.
Vance Joseph, though, did, having the time of his life from being the head coach to
but
being
he
the
went
defensive
someplace
coordinator.
else first.
True.
Didn't
I know.
he?
Yes, he did.
He went to Arizona.
Yeah,
he
went
was
to the
there
Cardinals.
DC and then came back.
True. So I've seen now but the thing about Robert Saleh is he wasn't a great head coach. I know they're talking about him being the DC.
It was
LaFleur's
the Jets, though, so who really can be good there?
That's true.
Got a great amount of curve. Anything you do in New York.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But LaFleur's not
the
taking an
Metrolands.
immediate demotion. I think I said this on Twitter the other day. I think that Matt LaFleur might be a brilliant offensive coordinator, but he doesn't use timeouts well, and that's on the head coach. He doesn't use his clock management skills have come under scrutiny for a reason.
Yeah, clock management is what got Nathaniel Hackett fired in his first year as head coach in Denver.
One of many.
I was going to say a lot of things got Nathaniel
One of many
Hackett
things,
fired.
but yeah,
He's
the
back with
clock
the
management
Packers,
was
so-
really bad.
Yeah, but he's in a position where he can't hurt anybody.
He's hurting us. He's hurting the Packers somehow.
I don't know. The offense was rolling fine with him back when he was OC. Of course, that was a lot of Rodgers.
Well, I mean,
it was just Aaron.
and I do think that they do need to make some changes on the offensive staff. Honestly, I mean, I'm not sold on Adam Stenavich as the offensive coordinator when he's standing up at the podium saying that Matthew Golden isn't going to have a prominent place in the offensive line. Well, why? I don't get that. The offensive line had so many problems. I know some of it this year was based upon injuries, but Adam Stenavich is an offensive line guru. Maybe you need to bump him back to offensive line coach because the Packers offensive line was better when he was in charge of that and nothing else. Maybe you need a stronger offensive coordinator and someone who LaFleur, I don't know if he's ever going to share play calling duties with, but maybe somebody who has a little bit more input on the game plan and can suggest strongly adjustments that LaFleur doesn't make. I think he just needs a stronger offensive coordinator as opposed to someone like Stenavich, who I don't think is that strong as an OC.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
No one who has any aspirations to be a head coach would be wise to join the Packers as their offensive coordinator. You get none of the glory, zero of the shine, and if LaFleur's calling the plays, that's why Stenavich, he just gets to do the job in name only. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just an unfortunate spot to be in. No one knows who the OC is for teams that have a play calling head coach most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, Matt LaFleur's first OC job was as Sean McVay's offensive coordinator, and he didn't get to call plays, so that's why he went to Tennessee for a year.
Right.
And that's the problem.
And that's what got him the job.
And that's what got him the job.
Say, in this hypothetical to where we started, this joke, Saleh, I believe, will be a head coach elsewhere next year. And I do believe that Jeff Hafley is going to leave. And I think Matt LaFleur, as we now pretty much know, will be back as the Packers head coach. So that's not possible. Also, my last point on the Sirianni conversation is if both guys, LaFleur and Sirianni, were to be fired in the same cycle, everybody goes to LaFleur first. And that's my opinion. I don't think Sirianni is as attractive of a candidate a head coach as LaFleur would be. And so in comparison, if Sirianni were to be fired and Packers fans are like, I'd rather have him, I would disagree. But that's my opinion.
I don't know. I tend to agree with you. Matt LaFleur is going to work somewhere in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if his next job is going to be as a head coach. It might be. Or is it going to be perhaps as an offensive coordinator? I think that, again, he's a brilliant offensive coordinator. He's shown that he can be really innovative, but he also can show that sometimes being the CEO of the whole team, maybe it's too much. Sometimes it's too much for guys.
Yeah. And some guys are just kind of better suited to be the coordinators. I mean, look at Vic Fangio. is one of them. I mean, he had some run as a head coach, but then he's like, I feel like I'm much better as a coordinator, and they just stay in that role and they shine.
And there are a lot of guys that are like that. Maybe
Yeah.
it's possible that Robert Saleh is like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
He'll get a second opportunity as a head coach.
Yeah, Raheem Morris for the longest time was, just great coordinator. It's like, okay, didn't work out as a head coach. Then he goes to be a head coach again. Last 2 years ago, 8-9 both years, and then gets fired again. Like, is he going to get another shot as a head coach? Josh McDaniels, another one.
I was going to
of
bring up
course,
him.
turning back on the deal with Indianapolis probably didn't help his head coach chances. But still, like, some of those guys are just simply better suited to be the coordinators.
Yeah, and that's just a tale as old as time. I mean, you go back as far as Norv Turner, if you'd like. I mean, a great offensive coordinator, lousy head coach. Wade Phillips, kind of the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. Brilliant defensive coordinator, not spectacular head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of football, though. I mean, I think it takes a special type of CEO mentality to be a head coach. And part of that is, even if you are an offensive-minded coach, you have to take a little bit more input than I think that sometimes Matt LaFleur wants to take.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because I kind of hijacked Dave's update there, that we're well behind the clock. I know we have another segment in this hour, so we might have to hit a break here and continue
Let's
that on
do
the
that.
other side.
We do.
That's fine. We'll do that on the other side and continue to take more of your calls on the talk and text line, more of your messages on the talk and text line as we continue on. Listen, this is one of those Mondays where not all the rules, but some of the rules are kind of thrown out a little bit just because there's so much to dissect with what happened on Saturday night. And we're going to continue on doing that on the other side. Thank you for taking a look at the clock, Nick, because I certainly was not. We'll be back after this on D.N.D.
Are you heading for a heartache? Oh, yeah.
You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
You had a bad day, you take one down.
Not the way any of us wanted the Packers season to end. A loss to the Bears at Soldier Field in the wild card round.
From the 28 of Chicago. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Love alone in the shotgun. The season on the line. Here's the snap. He bobbles. He picks up. He looks. He scrambles left. He still has it. Looking around. Now waits. Still looking. Time has expired. He throws left side of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Golden, and the interception was dropped. And the Chicago Bears have advanced 31-27. Another gut-wrenching loss for the Packers in Chicago. My goodness.
Stay with us all day as we react to the defeat. All day on the game.
You said you don't know, you tell me don't lie.
Here are some comments from Packers running back Josh Jacobs meeting with the media Saturday night after the Packers fell to the Bears in the wild card round of the playoffs.
In the first half, it seemed like everything was clicking to the second half.
Man, I honestly, I don't really know. I feel like, being up that much, we couldn't let our foot off the gas. And, we talked about it at halftime. We talked about it in the third quarter, and it just went how it did.
Is that troubling to you, Josh? Just because you're part of the leadership council and you talked eloquently this week about these moments we dreamed of. And you lost 5 straight to end the year, and just kind of the way this ended too.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling just because obviously, man, that's a game that I don't, 9 times out of 10, I don't get how we lose. And that's just me being all the way honest. So it's just one of those things. I give credit to them. They still a good team and things like that. But it's no way in my mind that you asked me at halftime or even before the game how the drives was going that we would have been in that position.
I think you could get the run game going a little bit more in the second half. You didn't have very many attempts.
Yeah, I feel like second half we had a few MEs, MAs just in the assignments on plays that we had, and it kind of forced our hands to do certain things. I think that even a lot of speaking on the run game, was one block missed from big plays. So it's just weird, man. I mean, it's just a weird game. It's the only way I can really explain it. I can't say I really played in the game that you had that much momentum and up that much, and still fighting, and guys still making plays that it turned out that way.
As well as the first half went tonight, I wonder if a week from now you're going to look back and say, we lost our last 4 or 5 games. We weren't finding a way to close these things out. Will that sink in?
I mean, we've been talking all year about playing a complete game. Feeling like we haven't played a complete game, and find a way to win. We always talk about good teams find a way to win at the end, and yeah, man. I mean, I feel like that's one of the things that as a team we have to work on.
Josh, was there a specific point in the second half where you felt the momentum shift? Was it the 3 and outs to start the third quarter, or was it when DJ Moore scored that touchdown?
Yeah, definitely 3 and outs. When I started looking at the clock, I'm like, damn, we didn't take no time really off the clock. And that was something that I was like, damn, I was kind of worried about. Just obviously knowing how this team is, and knowing how they play hard to the bitter end, and they got, 80% of their wins is like late comeback wins. So it was definitely something that I was starting to think about, and I even told the guys, in that third down, when we got the ball on the 4th down stop, like this is the most important drive of the game, and we didn't come up with any points on that drive, so. That's just how it is, man, in this league. So, yeah.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to discuss how he comes up with song titles.
Yeah, actually, a lot of my song titles are mumbles. With Cuts Like a Knife, it was just like, we used to jam, Jim Valance and I would jam songs together. And I remember we listened back to the tape afterwards. And I said, that sort of sounded like Cuts Like a Knife. Didn't it sound like Cuts Like a Knife? He goes, yeah. And then I play it back, and yes, I said Cuts Like a Knife. That's cool. And then he'd say, what about Cuts Like a Knife, but it feels so right? I said, that's a good idea. So whatever that means. He makes sense of my mumbles.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
From Elton John.
We do got the blues.
Yeah, we do. We are approaching the end of hour number 3. Just about time for Jump Around and to reset into the 4th and final hour of the proceedings today. It is a day that we have taken a lot of messages on the Talk and Text line. We will continue to take your messages on the Talk and Text line as well. Mike and lacrosse, that stuff happens when you don't have talent, whether it's coaches or players. Physical talent doesn't mean much if you don't have it between the ears. LaFleur may be a good head coach, but he shrinks in big moments as an OC. I might go the other way around. Yeah. Love and others may have great talent, but when we need it play, it's a coin flip. Honestly, there's nothing consistent and promising with the current coaches and players. Same old Mike and lacrosse. Yeah, there's something to be said about that. It's again, you have to look at the overall body of work, and there's enough of a body of work to draw some conclusions. And this team turtles up when it matters the most. And I can't put my finger on exactly why it turtles up, other than they don't have the clutch gene. And you got to find that clutch gene, because this was a game that was won. And they've had so many games this year that were won that wound up being in the L column.
Yeah. Or the T column. They should have beaten Dallas too.
Yeah. Should have done that. All right, one more hour to go. Brewster's Bites will lead off the 1 o'clock hour of the program. We'll take more of your messages on the NicoletLaw.com Talk and Text line. Of course, 877-794-1973. Stay with us. It's the Monday edition of D.N.D. I feel like we're doing some group therapy today.
Yeah.
Definitely. Picture my face in your hands.
Green Bay loses a tough one to Chicago, and their season comes to an end.
Second half, you just look back on it, and we just couldn't get anything going. Came out, a couple 3 and outs to start, and it was really disappointing. I think after the first half we played, being able to drive the ball down and score, it seemed like every time. Just got to go back and look at it, but yeah, it's just lack of execution and finding ways to make plays that really just hurt us.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are analyzing every angle of the playoff exit all day here on The Game.
Here is Packers wide receiver Christian Watson meeting with the media on Saturday night after Green Bay fell to Chicago in the playoffs.
Honestly, just not how I expected that one would go. So just frustration and disappointment.
What do you think happened offensively in that second half when you guys were so hot in the first half? And you guys just stalled.
I mean, we just I don't know what it was. I mean, I think I have to look back at the tape to really dive deep into it. But at the end of the day, I think it just came down to we weren't, executing anymore. I mean, we had plenty of chances. I think that they were giving us, good looks for stuff that we had. We got to find a way to close out games and to play in full 4 quarters. And we just didn't.
Critical moments, I gotta be at my best. How do you describe your emotions right now? The emotions in everyone in this locker room.
I was frustrated and disappointed. I mean, I think that we had everything that we needed. Regardless of the injuries, regardless of the way things have gone throughout the rest of the season, I think that we were still in a spot to accomplish everything that we wanted to accomplish. I mean, we just gotta be a better, consistent football team over the course of 4 quarters.
Do you feel like that was just an issue for much of the season too? And why do you just think you guys could never put that full kind of effort together? I know there were times, but it just felt like that was what was holding you guys back from a lot of wins too.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I do think that, it kind of dragged on into the season a little too much. But I mean, honestly, I think that the way that we prepared and the way that we went about things, I wouldn't have, thought that would have been the case. So, I'm not, an expert in that area or anything to really dive into, what exactly is going on. But I mean, we just got to find a way to do it in the game. We got to carry it over from practice. We got to carry that mentality and that, just that execution over into the games because, it just didn't show up when we needed it.
What was kind of the conversation like going into that final drive where you got to go down and score a touchdown?
I mean, it wasn't much to be said. I mean, we got to score. Obviously, just getting the rundown situation. We needed to score a touchdown. I mean, we knew that. We were able to score touchdowns on them. I mean, we scored, a decent amount of points, but you just got to be able to do it when it matters. And that was the conversation. Obviously, I didn't get it done.
How tough is it to see your teammates and just going through the emotions of this? You guys have dealt with heartbreaking games, but nothing like this before.
It's tough. Keep chopping. And all the work that we put into this. We put everything on the line for this. Obviously, we want to get the best result possible. Obviously, when you don't, it's a tough situation for sure. So, it sucks, seeing my brothers like this. But, it's tough. It's hard to look at the bright side after that. But I just got to let it sink in for a little while and find a way to be better because of it.
It's April 1973. Friday night TV means such must-sees as The Brady Bunch, The Odd Couple, and Love American Style. On the radio, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Steely Dan had their first hit, Do It Again. Not long before their induction, co-founder Donald Fagen recalled an item he wasn't able to donate to the Cleveland Museum.
My parents live in Cleveland, and my niece, Emily, practices piano on the same piano I learned on. Very cheap Acrosonic Spinet. And they were going to get a new piano, so they said, well, what do you want us to do with your old piano? I said, well, I don't want to ship it back here. I tell you what, let me call the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and see if they want it. And they said they didn't have room for it, so I had to ship it back to New York.
Jack, do it again. We'll turn it round and round. You go back, Jack, do it again. What you waiting for? Let's go.
Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the Game.
Welcome back in. It's D.N.D. for this very black Monday, January 12th, 2026. Still writing 1997 on my checks.
Oh, yes.
What are checks, Grandpa?
I've never written one.
The 1900s.
Yeah. I know.
I know.
I think we write 4 checks a month. But then again, I don't have Venmo either, so nobody can request. So talk to me about Venmo for just a second.
Yeah.
I'm a 30-second diversion. People can request payment.
Yeah.
And those payments are public?
They can be.
They can be.
That's insane to me.
You can make them private, but you can leave them public.
Yeah, most you see.
That
you
whole
don't see-
concept is insane to me.
You don't see the money, though. Like, you don't see, hey, they sent this much money.
Yeah.
You just see the message.
Paid whoever
So it's
for drinks, for, food.
pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it doesn't actually show the cash flow. Like, hey, your buddy just sent $1,800 to that guy for what is a small white bag emoji. Like, no, you don't see that. Like, you're able to see, if you want, what you're being sent back and forth. Otherwise, most of the time you send private.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that one time. It's like people were looking at other people's Venmo requests or history or whatever. I'm like, that is the craziest thing I have ever heard in my life. But But again, talk to me about checks, Grandpa. Anyway, welcome back in. It is the final hour of D&D for this after the Packers lost on Monday. We're taking your messages on the talk and text line. If you would like to comment about how out of touch and old I sound, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But the Packers with the loss after they had that game won. Anyway, let's take our daily diversion here in the 1 o'clock hour to a little thing we like to call Bruiser's Bites.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
Yes, it is time for Bruiser's Bites, brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. You can visit them there, see all the great work they can do for you, your garage floor, your garage cabinetry, your basement flooring, anything that's concrete, they can probably coat it with their polyurea coating, which is so much better. 6 times stronger than your traditional epoxy, slip resistant when wet, skid resistant. It's going to make your place just that much nicer, especially your garage. A lot of people in the state spend a lot of time in their garage, even probably watch the Packer game on Saturday
a lot of people
in their
do.
garage.
Yeah.
So check it out, wiconcretecoatings.com. And shout out to our texter in New Jersey. First-time texter asking, wouldn't policy look like a fool if he keeps LaFleur? I think there's a lot of nuance to that. I do think that he's not going to win any brownie points keeping LaFleur, but it
That's
very
for
well
sure.
could be the right decision at the end of the day. We shall see what that ends up being. Nothing official quite yet, but we'll begin with some post-game reaction from the head coach. This is what he had to say, as we heard earlier when we played back his conversation with the media yesterday about his team falling short once again in the postseason.
It's a kick in the gut, just like it is for every Packer fan out there. But, you got to dust yourself off and get to work, roll up your sleeves and get to work. That started this morning. You come in, and as painful as it was to watch that tape, you watch the tape and you figure out why things went the way they did. And it's unfortunate. And then you start having conversations after that, just try to find solutions moving forward.
Bears come from behind, having trailed by 18 points in their matchup with the Packers, winning 31-27 over the good guys, the Green Bay Packers. Can Matt LaFleur, if he returns, rebuild your confidence in him as a head coach outside of postseason success? Or is it as simple as he needs to get to the playoffs and succeed in the biggest of moments?
Yep. I was before you put the caveat in there, the answer was, he can win in January. That's it.
Yeah.
After 7
no
years
regular season success would matter.
We've seen it. We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. I mean, he's had the regular season success. He's had historical regular season success, with the exception of the last month. They didn't win a game in a month before they play that game on Saturday night. No, it's the only thing. It's the only thing you can do. It's the only thing that any coach who has had the track record that Matt LaFleur has had is able to do. Is you've won everywhere else. Now win in January when it really matters. That's where legacies are built.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I mean, that's exactly what it's going to take. Nothing that's going to happen over the next 9 months or 10 months or whatever.
11 months.
11 months, 12 months. Nothing is going to be able to make me believe Matt LaFleur now is all of a sudden that guy until you see it actually happen. It's going to take that. It's going to take some time for them to figure it out. We could say the same kind of thing about, the Brewers. We were saying it for several years because they had the 1 year where you had the postseason success. You make it to the NLCS. Okay, cool. Then everything after that, I believe Craig Counsell was 1-9, 1-10 in his next 10, in his next playoff games. Like he had no success after that. Like you have year after year of making the playoffs, but you don't go anywhere in them. It's like, well, okay, cool. It's great that we're a playoff contender, but once you get there, you got to actually do something for once. And that's what made this year for the Brewers with, Murphy and all them. That's what made it so great to make it back to the NLCS. But for LaFleur, he's got to be able to get himself a win in the postseason. He's got to get back to the NFC Championship game. He's got to do something to have success.
And especially in football, because the finances are so much different in football as opposed to baseball. Yes. When you're at baseball, getting to the postseason in a market the size of Milwaukee, I mean, that's actually something to celebrate. That's actually a feat. Getting to the playoffs for the Packers is baseline. You're expected to go to the playoffs every year. That's the minimum bar that is expected of you. And if you don't do it, you're going to get run out of town, and you should get run out of town. Now, when you've reached that minimum level, now it's like, can you take it to that next level? And if you can't take it to that next level, you got to find somebody else who will.
Well, a guy that we all felt took the Packers to the next level offensively last year was running back Josh Jacobs, after they were able to acquire him via free agency from the Raiders. And this is what he had to say following the Bears' victory over the Packers in the wild card round on Saturday.
It's definitely a weird feeling just because, obviously, man, I mean, that's a game that I don't, 9 times out of 10, I don't get how we lose. And that's just me being all the way honest. It's just one of those things. I mean, I give credit to them. They still a good team and things like that. But there's no way in my mind that you asked me at halftime or even before the game how the draws was going that we would have been in that position.
Josh was able to churn out 55 yards, though it took 19 carries to get to that point. I pose this as not necessarily a direct question about Jacobs as a player, but
sure.
Is there anyone that was more disappointing this year on the offensive side of the ball than Josh Jacobs?
Yes. The interior line.
Yeah.
The interior
Aaron
line
Banks
was either injured or crappy all year long, and I think that one had to do with the other.
Right.
The interior play of the offensive line was atrocious this year.
His production, let me say it like this. Was anyone's production more disappointing than what Josh Jacobs ended up with?
Matthew
More
Golden.
likely than not, his offense line is responsible for it.
Matthew Golden.
Yeah. All right.
And because he never got the ball thrown his way. I think that Matthew Golden is a special talent. I think Josh Jacobs is a special talent. But there's a reason that they play 11 on 11, right?
Right.
There's only one quarterback, and the quarterback is the most important position on the field. Beyond that, everything has to be in concert with each other. And when the interior line sucks as bad and is injured as bad as the Packers were this year, you're going to struggle, no matter who your running back is. So that was a huge part of the decline, at least in my opinion, the decline of what we saw from Josh Jacobs this year. I think Walker was okay. I think Zach Tom, when he was not injured, was okay. But they've got offensive line issues. I talked about the cornerbacks earlier in the program, but their offensive line, especially if Zach Tom has an injury that's going to be really difficult for him to come back from, that's going to be a problem. They've invested heavily in the offensive line in the draft the last couple of years, and it has not panned out yet. So those guys, specifically the guys that they've drafted high, whether it's Morgan or Belton, they got to get in the weight room and they've got to, show themselves that they can be NFL starters, because when they were drafted to be NFL starters, and they haven't shown that they can be NFL starters on a good playoff worthy offensive line that blocks well for both the passing game and the running game yet.
Yeah, they've just completely come up short. Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, you're up. You're up. Your opinion on Josh Jacobs in the offense. You made mention of Matthew Golden. Was that more disappointing this year for you?
Yeah, I think that one was certainly more disappointing, just with the expectations of him being a first rounder and what we've seen first round receivers be able to do in their rookie seasons, the talent that we know that he has. Talking all throughout training camp, how we thought this dude was just going to be an absolute playmaker, and all of a sudden we barely see him during the season. So I think that's a massive disappointment. But Josh Jacobs, I mean, even the 55 yards, like, I really can't remember the 55 yards. I mean,
pretty quiet 55 yards.
Very quiet 55. Like I feel like 50 of them had to have come in like those first 3 drives where they actually were scoring touchdowns, because once he got to the second half, I don't know if he had 3 yards combined. Like it was terrible in the second half. He had nothing going at all.
Well, he did have 1 13-yard carry. So you're talking about 18 for 42. Other than that, that is 2.2
it's terrible.
yards per carry.
It's terrible.
Not great.
They got nothing.
Well, James Jones, member of our group, Packers Radio Network, had some opinions on LaFleur and his job status moving forward on Speakeasy, which is LaShawn McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, and his program outside of Fox Sports. This is what he had to say about LaFleur.
LaFleur's my dog. LaFleur's a heck of a head coach. Since he came in there, he won game. But the way the Packers have finished the last couple years, losing so many close games, you get into the playoffs. At halftime, you have a 21-3 lead.
Check.
Not against a team that's better than you. Against a team that you are better than.
Check.
You wasn't playing the champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. You wasn't playing the Patty Mahomes, Kansas City. You was playing Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson's first season, that a team that you are better than, and you give up a 21-3 lead at the half. It's going to be a different conversation.
Yeah.
I think Coach LaFleur, his seat just got real hot on that bus.
Yeah.
As he's getting on that bus right now, his seat just got real hot. When Goody talked to him at that meeting, I don't know how you let him walk back in the room.
Well, sounds like they're going to let him walk back in that room and maybe command that room moving forward with a potential extension in the near future. But I don't know that James Jones said anything that was out of line there. I mean, he spoke highly of him. He's his guy. He's a good coach, but there is something wrong as to how they're losing games in such dramatic fashion when they're supposed to win.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to change the messenger and the message from the front of the room. I mean, sometimes in professional sports, the message gets stale, and change for the sake of change has to happen. Mike McCarthy's a good coach, but Mike McCarthy, I don't go as far as to say he lost the locker room, but I think he lost the trust of his best player in Aaron Rodgers at the time. And it was a relationship that was very successful, but also came to its natural conclusion. And sometimes when those relationships come to an end, then you look back and say, yeah, we accomplished a lot of great things together, and you can mend those fences even when you're not necessarily doing it in the moment when the two are working together. And I don't know if that's going to be said of Matt LaFleur whenever he's not the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, because at some point he will not be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. But hopefully you can look back on his relationship with Jordan Love saying, yeah, that was a really fruitful relationship. And listen, the relationship between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick ended poorly. They have said, but Belichick also showed up at his roast last year and took some ribbing last year. So sometimes you need that separation to, I guess, fully appreciate what you've done, but that doesn't mean that sometimes those relationships don't come to their natural conclusion.
Yeah, and sometimes they just have to come to an end. And we've talked plenty about John Harbaugh as a possibility as well. Same thing happened to him out there in Baltimore. The message seemed to get a little bit stale. The locker room, it kind of seemed like, locker room was, flimsy on him a little bit, and he was starting to maybe lose it there. But, for Matt LaFleur, I will say this in the positive direction for him. With all the players that we're seeing the media talk to on Locker Cleanout Day, pretty much all of them are in staunch support of Matt LaFleur. Mike Parsons, Mike Parsons said that LaFleur is one of the reasons that he wanted to come here. The Jordan Love, a lot of the players spoke up and spoke positively about LaFleur. So, he does still have that on his side, which helps him. But yeah, sometimes maybe a change needs to be necessary to wake these guys up. Be like, guys, we cannot keep on doing this in the postseason. We need to make this change because it's all we've seen the last several years.
Quick stat / number dump on the Packers loss and how it really stacks up. Since winning the Super Bowl in 2010, the Packers have lost 6 playoff games in which they held a lead in the fourth quarter. Not great. To your point, Dave, about the second half rushing attack, Packers attempted 7 runs in the second half. -2, 1, 6, 0, 1, 0, and 0 in terms of yards gained. So that is 6 yards on 7 rushes in the second half. Interesting. This year, in the 3 matchups between the Packers and the Bears, the Packers had 106 offensive plays with the lead. The Bears had literally 0. Not one offensive play with the lead this year. They won the game the last 2 times they faced off with one another. Ben Johnson, his comments have circulated, certainly, in the locker room. He says, F the Packers, F those guys. He does not have any ill opinion on himself in that regard. He said, yeah, this is a rivalry. This is how you kind of talk about each other. Mixed opinions on it. Where do you guys stand quickly on Ben Johnson and his comments saying, quote, F the Packers, F them, effing blank those guys, hate those guys?
Yeah, he's a Jag, but he's apparently, by his definition, supposed to want me to say that he's a Jag. So he's a Jag.
This is a rivalry. The city of Chicago, Green Bay, it needs to be a rivalry.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Then I can have my opinion about him too.
Yeah, he absolutely is a Jag. But he's leaning into that heel role, that villain role for the Packers and
haven't
Packers
had one
fans.
of those since Ditka.
Yeah. So I get it. I get why he's doing it. And if the Packers ended up winning and Matt LaFleur said F the Bears, we'd all be going crazy. So exactly. I mean, to the victor goes the spoils.
Yeah, and when you lose in the manner that the Packers lost,
got handed an L, you got to hold it.
You got to wear that, man. You just got to wear it.
Well, another team that lost, the Jags, 27-24.
Now that's a team that he should be coaching.
And
Ben Johnson. Jag coaching the Jags.
A post-game interaction with a member of the media and Liam Cohen has circulated, and I want to get your opinion on it. I'll play it for those who haven't heard. This is a member of the assembled media for Jacksonville talking to head coach Liam Cohen.
I want to tell you, congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank
you. Hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank
you. You did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, this has split the internet. I mean, split social media between sports journalists and everybody else. Everybody else loves it. Sports journalists hate it. Where do you guys stand?
Hate it. I mean, this was the silliest thing I've ever heard in a postseason or post game press conference in my entire career. This is the silliest thing I've ever heard. Do we know who this woman was?
I didn't
it sounded
dig
like
for
it sounded like a player's mom took a wrong turn and wound up in the post game news conference. This is not how a professional. Sorry, this is not how a journalist or a reporter or anyone has a credential conducts themselves.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just not. If that were someone that if I was their sports director, they would never cover a game again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. That is not how a professional conducts themselves. I don't know who this woman was.
I do now.
Okay.
I have Googled. I figured it out.
Who was this?
Lynn Jones Turpin of the Jacksonville Free Press.
Okay, she would never. If I were her sports editor, she would never cover a game again.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, you got to put the fandom aside in the moment. It's not your job to give a pep talk to the head coach after a tough loss. You've got to objectively cover the team. And I understand that, certainly having grown up a fan, it can be tough at times, in those moments to try and, contain yourself.
But that's the job.
But that's the job. You got to do it. I can't be, if I'm there, for like let's say the Brewers, they have whatever the postseason. I can't be, jumping around with Pat Murphy. I can't be just being like, hey, you had it, like you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's just it is not your job.
There's a
She's
reason
gone
that
on television today, just for context, within the last couple hours, it appears, to speak on it and saying that support the black press. You can call me fake all you want to, honey. I've been doing this a long time.
It doesn't have anything to do with that black press.
It doesn't. Yeah.
And then she says, quote, the black press never agreed to conform to the mainstream media's ideal of objectivity.
What?
So,
I mean, objectivity is objectivity. I'm sorry. Listen, there are great, and I mean great, black reporters and reporters and journalists of color in all walks of journalism. Dominique Yates, we had on last week, is a great journalist who happens to be a person of color. That's crap. There's professional and there's not professional. There's a reason that when you go to a news conference and the person who's on the podium is introduced, the press does not applaud. Now, sometimes when you hear applause, like we want to introduce the new head coach of the
Green Bay Packers,
Johnsonville Wickets or whatever. Sometimes you'll hear in the back of the room some applause. Those are team employees who are planted in the room, so there's not dead silence when that person is introduced. Reporters, professional reporters, do not applaud, and they don't do that crap either. It has nothing to do with her color, black press. There's professional and there's unprofessional, and that was unprofessional.
Yeah, I completely agree with Doug.
Moving on, a couple of quick notes. Talking about black excellence. Tupac will be a bobblehead giveaway. A bobblehead giveaway at Camden Yards on May 8th versus the Athletics. The
Tupac.
Orioles are doing a Tupac bobblehead.
Does he have any kind of connection to Baltimore?
No clue. I'll dig into that.
What does
we
50
kind of
Cent think of
discuss.
this?
But my question would be for you guys, who of all random obscure maybe musicians, I don't care who would you want a bobblehead of in a Brewers uniform?
Ooh.
Well,
we already got Paige
year.
Sporanic, okay? We already got Paige Sporanic.
Was it a bobblehead or was it a bobble something else?
I think it was a bobblehead.
That was a missed opportunity.
It was.
Let's see. Snoop was in town, last year? Or the year prior?
Yeah, I think 2 years ago.
What celebrity would I want? That's a great question.
Tupac, he spent his formative years in Baltimore and was apparently, I mean, I looked up Tupac, Orioles fan, and that came up instantly, but also in the images, it's like, here he is in an A's uniform. Here he is in a Detroit Red Wings uniform. Here he is in a, I would think it would be Minnesota Golden Stars. Is that what they were previously at the hockey level?
Yeah.
North Stars.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, he's worn everything. Here he is in a Suns jersey. So I guess random obscure person.
I would like not a Tom Hanks bobblehead, but a Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Bobblehead.
Forrest Gump in a Brewers uniform.
Yes.
Yeah, Forrest Gump and Jacob Mizrowski, because according to Pat Murphy, he is our Forrest Gump.
Kind of.
There you go.
Let's see. Let's go with Gene Wilder, since we're going to pick celebrities who have since passed on. Gene Wilder is from Wisconsin.
That's true. He was born in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He's been dead for 20 years, though.
Yeah, well, so is Tupac.
That's true, but who? I mean,
years for Tupac.
But who has more? I mean, I know the body of work was just longer for Gene Wilder because he was a lot older.
Yeah.
But outside of Willy Wonka, what do you think of when you think of Gene Wilder? Probably not much, right?
Well, I think of Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was great in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
The Waco Kid.
Well, let me think. Random individual. I mean, it's really interesting to consider.
Gene Wilder's random. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like Elvis Presley
in a Brewers uniform. Okay.
Let's go Les Paul in a Brewers jersey.
We could do Les Paul, the Wizard of Waukesha.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. It's Tupac. He's dead. It's been 30 years. Bobblehead. I don't know.
You could still go, by the way, to the place where he was shot in Las Vegas And on the street light, people every day go over and light R.I.P. Tupac on it. Still to this day. No, exactly where it was. It's about
the 50 Cent just takes picture.
It's half a block from our favorite restaurant. It's half a block from Batista's. So I see it. I go through it.
Have you ever written a message to Tupac?
I have not. I have not. Maybe someday. I don't rule it out though.
Like, yeah, it's all very interesting. Like maybe like modern day, the Rizzler in a Cubs uniform on a bobblehead. That'd be pretty cool. We'll end with this. Brooks Koepka is returning to the PGA.
Okay.
There we go.
After spending some time, obviously, with Liv.
Yeah.
He'll be back in 2 weeks. He'll be ready to go for the Phoenix Open, and he's going to play at least the Phoenix Open isn't in 2 weeks. Anyway, he'll be back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
He has to not get paid for a series of years here from the PGA Tour, but you're doing all right. I mean, you made a lot of money from it.
They've got a returning member program.
The returning member program, that's a new category defined as a winner of a major or the players since 2022 that they can come back in. And under that criteria, Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, and Cameron Smith all have a window for reinstatement ahead of February 2nd.
Think they take it?
Interesting stuff. You guys happy to see Brooks back on the PGA Tour? I, for one, am. But some people are upset. He can't have both in a lot of people's minds, that he gets to abandon the PGA Tour, get all this money from Liv, and then still come back.
I just want the game to be as good as it can possibly be, and Brooks Koepka makes it better. So welcome back. Welcome home. Come on back.
Yeah.
Come on back.
Come on back. It appears the Liv thing maybe is starting to really fall apart.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Nobody could have predicted that.
Who could have thought that would be coming? So, yeah. Good to see him back. Get all those guys back in the PGA.
Well, it's time to come correct.
That's right. And you can always contact Wisconsin Concrete Coatings to come correct in your garage. That's right. wiconcretecoatings.com.
All right. That's another edition of Bruisers Bites. We'll continue to take your messages on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line, 877-794-1973. We are starting to get to the finish line for today's show. We've covered a lot of ground, mostly on the Packers and mostly a lot of anger about Matt LaFleur and what happened on Saturday night. So we'll continue on that on the other side. And I can't wait to see what kind of bumper music Dave has cooked up for the next segment, because it's mostly good. A little hit or miss today, but mostly okay. You get a passing grade today.
All right. Thank you.
But,
better grade than Matt LaFleur.
There's still, listen, we're in the fourth quarter. There's still time to screw it up, as we found out on Saturday night. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. on the game.
Jump around. Jump up and get down.
A tough way for the season to end. A loss to the Bears at Soldier Field in the wild card round.
Matt, I'm sure this hurts and hurts a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean this is one of the toughest ones I think we've ever experienced. I mean, we were in total control of the game, and the second half just obviously was not enough, and we had just a lot of things that I feel like are uncharacteristic of our team.
We're picking up the pieces all day on the game.
Here are some comments from Packers running back Josh Jacobs meeting with the media Saturday night after the Packers fell to the Bears in the wild card round of the playoffs.
Josh, you're an emotional leader on this team. Just how are your emotions doing? And when you look around at the guys you care so much about, how tough is it to see their emotions flowing as they are?
The thing that's the hardest for me is I know a lot of guys put everything into this, and I see the things that they do on a day-to-day basis to be able to even be in this position, to be able to become a better player or be a better player, or try to capitalize on this opportunity. So the emotions that they going through, I just feel for them, man. I mean, obviously I feel the same type of way right now. Feeling like I did all that I could. It's just one of them things, man. I haven't really processed it yet. It's still just kind of a daze.
Clark was telling us that it all hit him at once. We were just talking to him. Do you feel like it's kind of hitting you now, or you?
Well, I know I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight, so I know most likely it's gonna hit me when I get in my bed and I just sit there and start replaying everything. And I think the hardest day is gonna be tomorrow, seeing the guys and knowing that we're not, preparing for another week. So, yeah.
Suddenly, what do you reflect on, or what do you kind of say? Hey, we need to be better in this department.
Say that again.
What do you say? How do you reflect and say we need to be better in this department? I know it's tough because you it just ends so suddenly?
Yeah, I mean, it's just finishing games. I think that's the biggest thing. Mental stamina, physical stamina, just throughout the game. Closing people out. Like I said, we was up, but it's damn near too many points. Like, there's no way you should lose games in this league up that much.
Are you concerned about Matt and just all the swirling status? Or
I'm not too much concerned about Matt. I feel like the fans put way too much pressure on him on what they feel like he should be at. But at the end of the day, he's still, since he's been a head coach, the most winningest coach in this league. Like, I think we take it for granted how much just winning is, and how much winning he does. I think that he's become a great leader since I've been here. And I think that, he cares a lot about this program and, the people in the building. And I see him, put in extra work every day. And I know what he means to the players. So, I mean, speaking for myself, I'm going to stand firm on, wanting them to be the head coach and wanting them to figure something out with.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Gucci Mane songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Wasted featuring Plaz.
Party, 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 let's all get wasted. Shake it for me, baby girl, do it, wasted. I'm so wasted, she's so wasted. Tell the bartender, send me 20 more cases.
Number 2, Both featuring Drake.
But you ain't gotta with me, my, but you stuck with me. But how you call the cops on me, my, you grew up with me. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk, but I'm both right now. Got me talking about my life.
Number 1, I Get the Bag featuring Migos.
Hey, you get the bag and fumble it. I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Straight off the lot, 300 cash, and the car came with a blunt in it. Lil' mama a thot, and she gon' for bag. Pull up to the spot, living too fast, dropping the dump in the stash.
Hear more from Gucci Mane and similar artists now. Search for Gucci Mane on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Dan and Shay to ask Shay about the first time he met Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally, the first time we met was just at that party. My friend Andrew had just invited me. He was like, dude, they got this party. They have a keg. I was like, I'm in, let's do it. So we went over there, and actually, like, 4 of my best friends now were all at that party that night, and kind of a lot of people, like our guitar player now, and the guy who does all of our social media was there. So it's pretty cool.
It was funny. Shay was this quiet guy who came to the party. It was all just a bunch of people.
I know that's hard to imagine.
Yeah, and then a bunch of girls walked in, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you play guitar? You mind if I play something?" And he started singing, and I was like, "This guy's a really good singer." And we just hit it off, became best friends, and he's been writing about 2 or 3 songs a day ever since.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Dan and Shay and all your favorite artists.
Have you heard about the lonesome loser? He's a loser, but he still keeps on trying.
Okay, well, we're dipping back into the 70s now.
Yep. Little River Band.
Okay.
Lonesome Loser.
All right. Well, I mean, they're not lonesome. They've got plenty of company.
Probably felt pretty lonesome on that trip back to Green Bay.
This is just about McManus. This is a McManus specific comeback.
Maybe.
Who's he got, huh? Daniel Whelan? He's on the first flight back to Ireland. I mean, he's got nobody there that likes him.
Whelan is great, and he has absolutely no Irish accent that I've been able to determine. I haven't been able to discern his accent at all. He sounds like he grew up in Bakersfield.
He's just doing what all those great actors do. You know what I mean? Just erasing that accent.
Welcome back in, D.N.D. here on this. I was so looking forward to some victory chicken today.
Yeah. Instead, it's loser turkey.
Instead, it is loser turkey. Let's see. Unnamed in the 608 writes, how about John Gruden as coach?
Maybe a cool guy to have around, but not as your head coach, maybe.
Yeah. Let's see. Mike from Montello. The coaches are not on the field making the mistakes, fumbling the ball, dropping the interceptions, not making blocking adjustments. It's not wrong about there.
But what they can do is manage the clock well, which we know Matt has not
Kind
done
of
well.
important.
What they
Correct.
can do is run an offensive game plan that isn't predictable, which Matt has directly spoken to and said, well, yeah, they know what you're running. That's the NFL.
Correct.
Not so sure. And also, what was most frustrating, and Aaron Nagler pointed this out on Cheesehead TV, is that the Packers were consistently running the play clock all the way down. And the Bears, who are trying to pass rush, know exactly when the ball's going to be snapped and they can send their rush. Like, predictability was a massive problem.
Absolutely.
And that needs to be adjusted moving forward.
100%. It's the one thing that drove me crazy about Aaron Rodgers all those years. He wanted to take every last second right up until the last moment before he snapped the ball. Sometimes it would burn him from the standpoint that they had to take a timeout. Other times it burned him because just what you're saying, Nick, and just what Aaron Nagler was talking about, you're telling the defense when the ball is going to be snapped.
Yeah, you also had one of those too, where I forget when it was sometime in the third or fourth quarter, and Rasheed Walker is like getting ready to go, and they're like looking like false start or I forget if they called delay of game or false start.
They called delay of game, but it didn't matter.
They
called false start because it was going to be a delay of game. I think.
Yeah, because Rasheed's like, guys, clock's winding down. Like, we got to be going here. Like, you got to be calling it now.
Yeah,
so.
it's like, so I'm just going to go on 0.
Yeah.
So he went on 0 and they called a false start on him, but he was like, at least he saw his eye on the. I don't
he
blame
had his eye on the play
Right.
clock.
I don't blame Rasheed Walker for that, but it's like, guys, run the play, start the play, let's go.
Yeah.
So
and
much.
I'm all about
dinking
trying to
around.
take as much time off the clock where you can, right? I mean, it's frustrating when you're up late in a game and you're running the clock and you snap it with 8 seconds left on the play clock. That's one thing.
Yeah. You know what helps? Yeah. You know what helps running the clock down? Getting first downs.
That's right.
And not going 3 and out. That might help.
Yep. Oily Phil here. Desmond Howard as the special teams coach.
I think Desmond's got a pretty cushy job at College Game Day. I don't see him leaving.
I don't see him leaving. Why would you do that? And you don't know how
he was good on special teams. That doesn't mean he's going to be a good coach.
Exactly.
You need a special teams coach that you don't talk about ever. Okay,
exactly.
That's what you need. Someone that is just completely like
invisible.
Pepper Burris is
that
the strength and
job well.
Pepper Burris is strength and conditioning coach. Pepper Burris is just trying to stay alive right now.
Yeah.
Go read Lori Nichols' column in the Journal Sentinel from a couple of weeks ago.
I saw someone put in Jim Leonard for defensive coordinator.
Well, that makes so okay. That's something that.
But then they're like, and Paul Christ is offensive coordinator. I'm like, I don't know if we want to.
But Paul Christ I think he's a good offensive coordinator. He's a good offensive mind. I don't know that he was a great head coach.
Yeah. It's a good sentiment. It's a positive sentiment. The
it's
Jim Leonard
John
thing is
from Sun City, Arizona, by the way.
And it's a great suggestion. If you lose Halfley, absolutely go and get a guy like Jim Leonard. Because I think regardless of if it's coming back home or not, he's on the fast track to being an NFL defensive coordinator. So
without a doubt.
Well, yeah, he has in here Packers head coach and DC. Well, I don't know if they'd go that far.
But if he was hired as the head coach, they would hire a defensive coordinator, but Jim could call the defensive plays.
I think that listen, I would love to have Jim Leonard back on in Wisconsin and on the Packers staff would be great. I don't think that Halfley's coming back. I think I think he's going to get a head coach. I don't know that he's going to get a head coaching job.
Parsons thinks he's coming back.
Maybe.
But yeah, he's got 5 interviews coming up this week.
Right. That doesn't mean that he's going to get one, though.
Right.
Eric in the Prairie writes, looking forward to the Brewers, hopefully for the Bucks and the Badgers. So he's looking forward mostly to the Brewers.
Yes, as am I. You know,
well, there's a shock.
I know, really stunning. And I tweeted it out on Saturday night, like, hey, about 4 weeks until pitchers and catchers report.
How many days do you have the countdown? Like on your wall?
I do not, because the Brewers haven't set their reporting date yet. Oh, so yeah, that's still coming up, but it's that second week of February. So yeah.
Aaron in Carolina writes, the fact of the matter is that the Bears were holding on every play. Not subtle holding, but obvious in your face holding. The refs did not call it. They called everything on Green Bay. Terrible. There was some of that.
Yeah, there was some holding on Rashawn Gary there. Not quite maybe as much on every single play, but yeah, there were certainly some missed holding calls there.
Pogo from Clinton writes, what's the problem if the young man wants to stay in college? Doesn't affect you or me whatsoever. I don't care if he stays in college. I don't give a crap if he stays in college. I care that
if he wants a graduate degree, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the athletic eligibility that I have the issue with.
Yeah, right.
He can stay in college all he wants. I don't care. You can
get your master's degree, go for a doctorate. I don't care.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But you get 4 years of athletic eligibility.
Yeah. A lot of people spend 7 years in school. Yeah, they're called doctors.
Yeah. Maybe I should have clarified that.
Yeah.
So sorry, Pogo and Clinton.
Yeah. But yeah, Trinidad, it's like, don't bother fighting it in court. Just go to the NFL. It's going to be so much easier.
Didn't know Doug's ex-wife's name was Karma. It is not Karma.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Although she does live in Chicago now. It's neither here nor there.
Well, for what it's worth. Just kidding. I think you look at what happened with the Packers, and I guess I should another bruiser's bite, but this one's just off the cuff. I saw someone say that they would have rather had what happened this year than the alternative, which was the Brewers beat the Cubs, but the Packers lost to the Bears. And I think that'd be an interesting kind of conversation to have. Like, are you satisfied if this was one option and the other option was the opposite? Is this more desirable or less desirable?
I think we know where I stand.
We know where Dave stands, so that's not fair. I don't know. That's boy, that's a mind twister, isn't it? I think there are more Packers fans in the state of Wisconsin than Brewers fans, but I think that the Cubs are more hated than the Brewers.
The Bears,
or than the Bears. Sorry, yeah.
The Cubs are more hated than the Bears. I think that's a hot take. I mean, that would be it.
I think so.
You'd think that would be more of a recent revelation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, historically,
and a lot of that has to do with the manager.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a big part of it as well, because it's not like Mike McCarthy is coaching the Bears or something, or anything like that. So, yeah, there's certainly disdain for Ben Johnson in the state of Wisconsin, but there's a whole lot more for Craig Counsell. And yeah, the rivalry with the Brewers and the Cubs has just been kicked up so much these last couple of seasons. Meanwhile, the Bears have typically kind of been like a little bit further down, haven't been as competitive for the past several years, and it's just been the Packers owning them. So, yeah, I still think it. I mean, obviously for me, I'm going with Brewers winning that series because they needed to get over that hump. I mean, organizationally, everything they needed to be able to get over that hump because otherwise, I mean, it was going to be a really, really tough offseason for them.
And I do think that Chicago sports fans would take it as it is versus the opposite. Like, I recognize that the Cubs having won that series would have been huge, but you add the Dodgers on the other side, and I'm not so confident that the Dodgers would have, that the Cubs would have held up any better than the Brewers did against that Dodgers team. And this Bears win is so cathartic. I mean, to get this moment in this way over the Packers, I don't know if the Chicago fans would trade.
Having lived in Chicago, I can say this with a fair amount of certainty. The Bears are more beloved than the Cubs in Chicago.
Have to be.
The Bears.
The Cubs at least have competition in the city for the White Sox.
Yeah, the White Sox.
Yeah, but there are still White Sox fans.
There are.
Sure.
They've been demoralized. I mean, the White Sox fans mostly are from like Indiana and the south suburbs and things like that.
They're just watching 2005 highlights on repeat. That's just what they're doing.
I mean, there are they don't really, but everybody loves the Bears, and everybody's, the pecking order in Chicago is number 1 is Bears. Number 2 is Bears. Number 3 is 85 Bears. Then I think it's the Cubs. Then I think it's the Bulls of the 90s. Then I think it's the Bulls of today. Then I think it's the Blackhawks when they were winning. Then it's the White Sox. Now it's the Blackhawks of today. I think that's kind of the pecking order. But it's the Bears are the top 3.
You have to imagine. I don't know if it would be hard for me to find a state in the Midwest where you feel like a non-football team dominates. Like, you know what I mean? Sure. You look at Wisconsin, you feel like obvious it's the Packers, the Bears for Illinois, the Vikings most definitely for Minnesota, Michigan. Maybe you start looking at a passion for the Tigers, but the Lions.
Not recently. The last couple of years, Lions fans have started to feel their own.
And so
but they were dormant for a long time.
NFL dominates, and it's the most crucial. So, my opinion, of course, would be that I would flip it, right? Give me a Packers win and a Brewers loss. But, I mean, that'd be okay.
It's because you're a Bears or because you're a Cubs fan.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
So we get that. Let's see. Jonah in River Falls writes, Rich and McManus need to be out today in my eyes. Special teams has been garbage all year. Hasn't been great.
Wow.
Although Daniel Whelan's been very good.
Yeah, I think, Bisaccia has got to.
And McManus,
if they're going to be bringing LaFleur back, you got to make some changes to the staff, and Bisaccia has got to be one of them. I mean, they were
You'd
ranked
imagine.
what 30th in special teams units this year. But yeah, it's been bad. So also we got Jay, the Chiefs fan, on the phone who has a outside perspective on the Packers.
Hi, Jay. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Great. So I'm 62 years old. I have Wisconsin or Packer fans that I've been friends with for 40 years. So they've been there through the highs and lows. And so I'm an interested Packer observer, and I don't think that Jordan Love nor Matt LaFleur have the it. They just do not have it. Are they very good? Yeah, I think they're very good. I don't think that either of them has the it to win a Super Bowl. And so they can maybe extend LaFleur if they want to have Parsons back and to try to run it back one more time. But I don't think a long contract for LaFleur is wise unless you're willing to eat some of that. And I don't think you saw the it on display Saturday night. The it was wearing black and orange. Caleb Williams is ascendant. I don't think that he has the it yet, but he seems to me to be Mahomes 2.0. Not at the same level of development, but the combination of LaFleur and Jordan Love will get you maybe one playoff win going forward. And if you will judge your team on a championship level, they're not going to get it done. I'm more than happy to take any questions or hang up and listen.
All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. We are a little bit short of time. My opinion of it is I think the book is out on LaFleur. I don't think the book is written yet on Love because when he's got a clean pocket, he's lethal.
Yeah.
He just hasn't had a clean pocket all year long.
When he's bouncing around back there, just looking downfield, it's going to be something big coming. So
he's one of the best passers with a clean pocket in the NFL.
And they were this close to having that game-winning touchdown at the end, just went off the hands of Watson. And like that was a good throw.
And Aaron Rodgers won his only Super Bowl in his 30 years as starting quarterback. This was Love's 30 years as starting quarterback. So, I mean, I'm not ready to say that about Jordan Love yet. Is he an elite quarterback yet? No, but I think he can be. All right, one more segment to go. Stay with us. D.N.D. on the game.
Though this loneliness is driving him crazy.
Green Bay loses a tough one to Chicago, and their season comes to an end.
Second half, you just look back on it, and we just couldn't get anything going. Came out, a couple 3-and-outs to start. And, it was really disappointing. I think after the first half we played, being able to drive the ball down and, score seemed like every time. Try to go back and look at it. But, yeah, I mean, it's just lack of execution and find ways to make plays that really just hurt us.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are analyzing every angle of the playoff exit all day here on The Game.
Here is Packers head coach Matt LaFleur's interview with Larry McCarron after the Packers fell in the wild card round of the Bears on Saturday night.
And Matt, I'm sure this hurts and hurts a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean this is one of the toughest ones I think we've ever experienced. I mean, we were in total control of the game, and the second half just obviously was not enough, and we had just a lot of things that I feel like are uncharacteristic of our team.
Speaking of that change from the first half when you dominated to the second half, anything you can put your finger on right now?
No, there was a lot of things really in all three phases. I think certainly the start of the second half with our offense, too many 3-and-outs and just not scoring points when we had an opportunity to put this team away, and you didn't do it. And we knew they're a team that if you let them hang around, I mean, they've had 7 fourth quarter comebacks or whatever it is. And that's exactly what happened.
How'd you feel about the work of Jordan Love and his receivers? They all seem to make plays.
Yeah, we've got a great receiving room. I thought Jordan Love played his ass off and really competed at a high level and quite frankly did enough to where we should have won that game.
Didn't seem like you had an answer defensively as the game wore on for Colston Loveland, the Bears tight end. He had a bunch of catches and he hurt you.
Yeah, he did. He's a really good player. Give credit to them. They found ways to get him open, and he made us pay.
The kicking game, 3 missed kicks tonight, 2 field goals, 1 extra point. Was conditions a factor, or how are you looking at that?
Yeah, I think conditions were, but it doesn't matter. You got to find a way to get it through the uprights. And I mean, obviously that played a big role in this.
Is it really tough? All the hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and they all come to a screeching halt. Is it really tough to call it quits on the season?
Yeah, it's always hard. I mean, these guys battled, and I hurt for them. I hurt for our fans, especially when you were in a position to win a football game, and we didn't get it done.
Thank you, Matt. At a tough time, thank you.
Here are the top J. Cole songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Workout.
Is it the real thing, or is it just a one night stand? Well then, let me see you get high and go low. Now girl, won't you drop that thing down to the floor? I'm here for one night, how far will you go? I wanna see you work out.
Number 2, Middle Child.
I just poured something in my cup. I've been wanting something I can feel. Promise I am never letting up. Money in your palm will make you rich.
Number 1, My Life featuring 21 Savage and Murray.
Nah, I can't reach up too high evidently. Never seen no one driving a Bentley. I can't be out here mopping up Wendy's. My life is all I have. My rhymes, my pen, my pad. And I done made it out the struggle, don't judge me. What you're saying now won't budge me.
Hear more from J. Cole and similar artists now. Search for J. Cole on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Neil Sean to ask about Journey's music being featured in the final episode of The Sopranos.
I did follow The Sopranos, and I watched it when I wasn't working. And I remember getting an email months prior to the last episode. And it was, I believe it was from the director. And he was, basically saying, hey, we're talking about using Don't Stop Believing in the final episode of Sopranos. And I went, oh, cool. That's cool. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's cool too. And I wasn't glued to the TV. I was actually on the internet, and my phone just started blowing up. People were like, dude, did you see that? And I was like, what? And it was just like I got so many calls one after another. Got to see the episode, the next day, and I was like, wow, this is just amazing.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Sean and all your favorite artists.
That's great. It starts with an
Last couple of minutes here on D.N.D. Andy in Thiensville writes on the talking text line, a lot of your coworkers lost their jobs. This Jags reporter has a job, so she must be doing something right. Doug, sounds like the media has to be one way. Yes and no. I don't think the media has to be one way, but they do remind you before every game that there's no cheering in the press box for a reason.
Yeah. And that's not why any of our friends lost their jobs.
It's not the reason why any of our friends lost their jobs. Has nothing to do with it. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if this were somebody that I was supervising, she wouldn't be covering a game ever again, because that's not the role of the media. The role of the media is not to cheerlead, especially in a news conference. It's just not the role of the media. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I respect your opinion, Andy. I just disagree with it vehemently.
Yeah. I mean, you there are points where it's like you've got to just objectively cover the team. Like, you are not supposed to give a pep talk. It's like, oh, like you had a tough loss. You're not supposed to tell them, keep your head up, young man. Like, no.
Send them a message later. I mean, that's the wrong setting. If you want to send a personal message later,
yeah.
I mean, I don't
like,
agree
hey,
with
man,
it necessarily,
loss,
but at least the setting would be more appropriate.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you are with these people every single day, as part of like your work day, their work day. Liam Cohen, he's got to talk to the media a whole bunch. Like Matt LaFleur knows all the Packers beat guys. Pat Murphy knows the Brewers beat guys. We talk to him every day. Like, it's like you kind of have some sort of connection there. But, yeah, it's not the moment in the press conference to be like, keep your head up and like give this pep talk. No.
Nick, good luck tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. And I hope you guys will give me an equal pep talk tomorrow if that's the case.
We will give you that pep talk. You keep your head up, young man.
Yeah.
You keep your head up, young man.
Thank you.
Then again, they might win tonight. So
yeah, they might win. So the head's going to be up anyway.
I mean,
That's right.
He'll be crowing tomorrow. And we'll do this again in 20 hours. Have a great day, Drew and Hunter. They're coming up next. Stay with us on the game.
A tough way for the season to end.